Chapter 992. In addition to the one on the 6th floor, the demons on the other floors also exploded and turned into a long river of blood and chi that flowed into the body of the vicious beast. The divine radiance on the vicious beast's body also became more and more intense, and its power grew stronger and stronger. Under the astonished gazes of the crowd, it disappeared into the horizon. Then, the entire devil-subduing pagoda began to shake violently again. The roars of the vicious beast and the low growls of the demon came from outside. Everyone was a little stunned. The entire 6th floor seemed to have been swept away in an instant. So many demon beasts turned into blood mist in an instant, and were absorbed by the vicious beast. In other words, those demon beasts were actually raised in captivity. They looked majestic, but at the critical moment, they were nourishment that could die at any time. Looking at the lower floors, they were afraid that it was about the same. At this time, although the vicious beast had already left, no one wanted to go to the 7th floor. At this time, all the greed in their hearts was suppressed by the vicious beast. No one dared to provoke this vicious beast. Even if the vicious beast had already left, no one returned. Instead, they chose to escape frantically. In the situation where there was a matchless demon outside, the devil-subduing pagoda seemed to be abnormally unsafe. At this time, sounds from outside constantly came in. The entire devil-subduing pagoda also shook violently, as if it would collapse in the next second. "Damn you beast, you are just a tool spirit, how dare you go against this seat? If you obediently surrendered, this seat could have let you stay after subduing the devil-subduing pagoda. But now, this seat must eliminate you." The words of the matchless demon immediately stunned everyone in the devil-subduing pagoda. Tool spirit. That vicious beast was actually the tool spirit of the devil-subduing pagoda. No wonder it was sleeping in the passage between the 6th and 7th floor. No wonder it could actually make all the demons and demon beasts in the entire devil-subduing pagoda turn into a blood mist and absorb it. However, just a mere artifact spirit was already so terrifying. Just how powerful was the person who set up the demon-subduing pagoda to be able to do such a thing? No one could imagine that the original master of the devil-subduing pagoda was also a god. Boom! Boom! The entire devil-suppressing pagoda was still shaking violently because the monsters below had all turned into blood mist and were absorbed by the artifact spirit beast. Therefore, everyone's journey down the devil-suppressing pagoda was exceptionally smooth. Although the space inside the devil-suppressing pagoda was extremely large, with everyone's speed, they quickly arrived at the 1st floor. Then, they rushed out like a torrent of water, rushing out of the pagoda. The few transcendent realm experts who rushed out first were blasted into a blood mist by a horrifying force as soon as they rushed out. Other people suddenly stagnated and were completely scared, but the suppressing devil tower was still shaking crazily, so they didn't dare to delay and quickly resorted to their own divine tools, and then directly rushed out. Yi Shiwen also resorted to Tianyuan mirror and placed it on top of his head, and then rushed out, simply not caring about what was happening above in the end. Sure enough, as soon as they rushed out of the devil-suppressing pagoda, they immediately felt a horrifying force sweeping towards their bodies. The blood-colored light curtain projected by Tianyuan mirror also fluctuated in circles, bearing an extremely horrifying force. Yi Shiwen and others retreated for hundreds of miles. Only then did they feel that the horrifying force was much smaller. The sky was filled with rolling devil chi. Everyone looked over and saw a faintly discernible devil's shadow and a huge ferocious beast fighting in the sky. Their casual movements could tear the void apart, creating a spatial turbulence. However, under the attack of the demon's shadow, the huge vicious beast gradually fell into a disadvantageous position. The vicious beast roared, and the devil-suppressing pagoda directly uprooted from the ground, directly smashing towards the demon's shadow. "Hurry up and leave this sealed place!" At this time, someone shouted again, and everyone began to fly out of the crack. At this time, everyone could see that the space in this small plane was obviously unstable under the bombardment of the two experts. It could shatter on the spot at any time. Under such circumstances, if they continued to stay in this space, they might be buried together with this space. Even if they were in the transcendent realm, or even the law manifestation realm experts, they might be buried in the space turbulence. On the ancient Baron's continent, the space barrier was very sturdy. Because of this, the spatial turbulence would be very horrifying. Even transcendent realm experts couldn't escape from it. Everyone fled towards the outside one after another. Yi Shiwen was also among them. They had just escaped when the entire space couldn't withstand the fierce fighting and collapsed with a loud bang. Everyone still had some lingering fear. Several transcendent realm 5th level warriors who couldn't escape in time were shredded into pieces on the spot by the spatial turbulence. Everyone's heart palpitated. Fortunately, they escaped quickly. Otherwise, it would be too late. After shattering the small space where the devil-suppressing pagoda was located, the two peerless vicious creatures had already killed their way into the sealed place. Originally, the entire sealed place was to seal the peerless demon. Now that the demon had escaped, the entire space began to show faint signs of collapsing. Everyone was helpless and could only embark on the journey of escaping again. Everyone fled along the way. They could barely keep up with the speed of the two destroying the space. The sealed place's space was very stable, but it was almost helpless against these two vicious creatures. It was unknown how strong these two monsters were. Fortunately, both sides were entangled. The specter wanted to subdue the devil-suppressing pagoda, but the devil-suppressing pagoda was born to suppress the devil-suppressing pagoda. The artifact spirit was entrusted with this mission. It absolutely couldn't let the devil-suppressing pagoda escape. From the very beginning, the two sides had entered a battle of life and death. In terms of strength, the demonic shadow was stronger than the vicious beast, but the vicious beast had the assistance of the demon-suppressing pagoda. It seemed to have a power that could restrain the demonic shadow, constantly suppressing it. Both sides fought their way out of the sealed place and rushed into the Chaos Demon Sea. Then, they turned into two streams of light and disappeared into the void. They killed their way into the ancient Baron's continent star. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief when they saw the two ferocious creatures leaving. The two ferocious creatures gave them too much pressure. Fortunately, their attention was focused on each other. Otherwise, they might really be finished. Is that demon really the one suppressed in the Chaos Demon Sea? How did it get released? Someone asked doubtfully. Even the experts of the Demonic Sea clan were puzzled. Although this demon, strictly speaking, should be regarded as the ancestor of the Demonic Sea clan, they might not have a good impression of this demon. Except for a small number of people who were bewitched, most people didn't have a good impression of this demon ancestor. No one wanted such an ancestor to suddenly appear and overrule them. In this regard, the experts of the major forces seemed to be aware of it, but they didn't say anything. Such a demon was released. It will definitely bring disaster to the world. At that time, it will be another monstrous disaster. Someone sighed and said, It should be impossible. Even if this demon can escape from the vicious beast, it should choose to return to the demon domain. They are suppressed too much here. Someone retorted. As for the demon's whereabouts, everyone had different opinions. In any case, they had finally escaped a calamity. At this moment, the only remaining law manifestation realm expert of the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan suddenly made a move. The mighty territory directly shrouded Yi Shiwen in it. The shocking change suddenly made the atmosphere tense. The relationship between the major forces of various clans was already tense. It was only slightly eased because of the two vicious creatures just now. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's experts suddenly made everyone nervous. Is a battle about to break out again? In particular, the experts of several overlord forces turned their knife-like eyes to the only remaining law manifestation realm expert of the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan. Originally, the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan had more than one expert. However, the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan was the most anxious about the demon subduing tower, so they rushed to the front. They thought that with the law manifestation expert taking action, even if there were any changes, it would not be enough to harm their lives. They did not expect the vicious beast to kill the law manifestation expert. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan could be said to have suffered heavy losses. At this time, there was only one law manifestation expert left. It was also the weakest among the major overlord forces. At this time, wasn't he courting death by provoking a battle? This is a matter between our Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan and this kid. It has nothing to do with others. I hope you don't intervene. At this time, the only remaining Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan expert glanced at everyone and said. Only then did everyone realize that although this law manifestation realm expert had released his domain, it was only aimed at Yishiwen. In the entire territory, only Yishiwen was shrouded in it. Everyone immediately understood what he meant. Many people retreated on the spot. No one wanted to provoke the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan at this time. It was not worth it for Yishiwen. Chapter 993. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts' spiritual senses locked on Yishiwen. During this time, the multiple encirclement and suppression of Yishiwen also let them know that Yishiwen was definitely not an easy character to deal with. Although he was only at Transcendent Realm 5th level, even the Transcendent Realm 9th level would be torn apart by him. Yishiwen was not his opponent at all. No matter how careful one was to deal with such a person, it was not wrong at all. However, with the law manifestation experts here, it was useless even if he could overturn the situation. He would still be suppressed. Yishiwen was like a slippery loach. They tried to catch him several times, but he escaped. Now, they finally caught him in one fell swoop. He's dead. These Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts looked at Yishiwen with murderous intentions. They seemed to hate Yishiwen. Many of their companions who had been together for thousands of years died in Yishiwen's hands. How could they not hate Yishiwen? Brat, I want to see how you escape today. The law manifestation Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan expert stared coldly at Yishiwen and said. His gaze was a bit cold, revealing a bit of murderous intentions. It was so cold that it made people feel like falling into an ice cave. After coming here, it was not the first time he heard of Yishiwen's name. Yishiwen had escaped from the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan's encirclement and suppression many times. Most importantly, Yishiwen killed many Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts. Even Crown Prince Crocodile died in his hands. After this news spread, the entire Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan was in an uproar. Even the old ancestor who had been in close cultivation for a long time was alarmed. This brat is dead today. He can't survive. Not far away, the poisonous Flaming Dragon clan experts also discovered Yishiwen. However, since the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts wanted to make a move, they were too lazy to make a move. Yishiwen lowered his head as if he couldn't lift his head due to their words. However, if one could see his eyes, one could see a burst of cold murderous intentions flickering in his eyes. Yishiwen, wait for a moment and immediately unleash your domain of wind and thunder power. Break this guy's domain and immediately escape. Otherwise, you really won't have a chance. Yemo reminded. Yishiwen was now trapped in this domain. Even his breathing was not smooth. He was like an outsider in this world. Everything, light, air, everything, was rejecting his existence. This feeling almost made him explode on the spot. In this domain, the Law Phase Realm expert was a god. Everything was under his control. He found it difficult to even breathe, let alone escape. At this moment, he finally understood what it meant by only domains could go against domains. In front of a Law Manifestation Realm Master, a Transcendent Realm Warrior was just an ant-like existence. It was completely different from Crown Prince Crocodile's pseudo-domain. It was a real domain. In the domain, everything was under his control. At this time, the only way was to unleash the Wind and Thunder domain. When everyone didn't know he had a domain, it was possible to escape if he couldn't break this domain by surprise. A cold gaze flashed in his eyes. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan had been in constant trouble since he came to the Flourished Cloud Sea region. It was really troublesome. All the power in his body had been mobilized. From the outside, it looked like he was being controlled by the domain and looked harmless, but inside, his muscles had been stretched to the limit. He was just waiting for an opportunity to break out of the cage. Just as he was about to launch, he heard a loud shout. Wait! Everyone looked over. It was actually several experts from the Guiyuan sect who spoke. Why? Is your Guiyuan sect going to intervene in our Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's affairs? Said the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan expert with an unfriendly expression. In the flourished Cloud Sea region, the battle between humans and sea clans had lasted for countless years. As the human overlord, the Guiyuan sect and one of the sea clan overlords, the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan had a long history. Both sides had long been displeased with each other. We, the Guiyuan sect, will protect this Yishiwen, said the law manifestation realm expert from the Guiyuan sect with an abnormally firm expression. What? Is your Guiyuan sect going to fall out with our Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan for this kid? Said the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's law manifestation realm expert in a cold voice. At this time, he hated the Guiyuan sect for being nosy. If it weren't for the vicious beast swallowing so many experts, they would not question the Guiyuan sect at this time. They would fight directly. The Guiyuan sect dared to provoke the tiger and snatch food from the tiger's mouth. Wasn't that courting death? But now, the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan only had one law manifestation realm expert. When facing the Guiyuan sect expert who ran the fastest just now, they were at a complete disadvantage. If they really fought, they would be annihilated. You know, this kid killed our next clan leader, Crown Prince Crocodile. If you want to protect this kid, you are going against the entire Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan. The remaining law manifestation realm expert of the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan could not help but threaten. The death of the next clan leader was a big deal for any clan. There was no reason to let it go in vain. Killing is killing. Isn't it just a young clan leader who died? Do you think we don't know? Over the years, several young clan leaders of our Guiyuan sect have died in your hands. You only have one dead. What's there to be angry about? The law manifestation realm expert did not give in at all. Suddenly, the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan expert's mouth seemed to be gagged. His face was flushed, but he could not say a word. The fact that the various overlord factions were secretly targeting each other's successors was not something that had happened in just a day or two. It was just that they did not bring it to the surface because they did not want to shed all pretenses of cordiality. Since you dared to target our successors, we can also target your successors. It's that simple. Whatever losses you suffer, you will get it back. Let's not talk about the past. My elder brother died in your hands. Do you really think I don't know? Pei Xingqian stepped forward and said coldly. When he mentioned his elder brother, a trace of hatred rippled in his eyes. As soon as these words came out, everyone suddenly went into an uproar. Pei Xingqian's elder brother was also a genius of his generation. At a young age, he was outstanding among the younger generation. He was also appointed as the young clan leader of the Guiyuan sect. But later on, when he was exploring the ruins, he inexplicably died. No one knew what was going on. They just thought that he was killed by the strange existence in the ruins. But who would have thought that there was such a secret hidden in it? The Guiyuan sect leader Sweeping died in the hands of the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan expert. This hatred was huge. In the past, both sides had scruples and did not put it on the table. Now, once they fell out, the consequences could be serious. What nonsense are you talking about? Your elder brother died in the hands of the monster in the ruins. This is a well-known fact. Don't think that you can make irresponsible remarks and implicate our Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan. There was a trace of panic in the eyes of the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan expert, as if someone suddenly exposed a secret. Yi Shiwen listened quietly, but he was calculating in his heart. It turned out to be like this. Just like true martial school, It would take thousands of years for a behemoth like the Gui Yuan sect to change a generation. In this place, a transcendent realm 9th level expert could be achieved in a few hundred years. The geniuses that emerged would never be this small. In the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan, are there no young experts stronger than Crown Prince Crocodile? There must be. Now, the famous young experts were in the range of hundreds of years old. There was not a single expert over 1,000 years old. It could be seen that the waters of the flourished Cloud Sea region were still deep. According to the words of the Gui Yuan sect, these experts who had risen to prominence before them had either fallen or gone into seclusion. The so-called top 100 list only recorded the experts within the age of 500. It was not complete at all. However, from the beginning, Pei Xingqian stood on Yishuan's side. He would rather fall out with Crown Prince Crocodile. Now, the Gui Yuan sect was willing to fall out with the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan for him. There must be a reason. He didn't believe that he had such charm to make the Gui Yuan sect fall out with the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan for no reason. If it were him, it would be impossible. What could be the reason? Yishuan had some doubts in his heart. Evidence? Do you need it? Pei Xingqian said with a sneer. If it weren't for you few law manifestation realm experts, my elder brother would be invincible among the younger generation. Even if there are thousands of dangers in the ruins, it would be impossible to hurt my elder brother. Everyone suddenly made a noise. The law manifestation expert attacked the transcendent realm expert, which made the experts present feel sad. They were the transcendent realm experts. In the flourished Cloud Sea region, they were regarded as influential figures. If the law manifestation expert could attack them at will, then they were no different from the ants below the transcendent realm in their eyes. Everyone is well aware of these things. The death of Crown Prince Crocodile is nothing. Today, our Gui Yuan sect will protect Yishuan. At this time, the law manifestation expert of the Gui Yuan sect said with a sneer. Damn it! The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert yelled. His eyes flashed with a sharp light. He immediately slammed his palm toward Yishuan. The root of all this trouble was caused by Yishuan. As long as Yishuan was slapped to death, everything would be solved. Would the Gui Yuan sect really fall out with the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan for a dead person? Chapter 994. How dare you! Seeing that the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan actually took advantage of the chaos, everyone from the Gui Yuan sect was furious. However, the speed of a law manifestation realm expert was so fast that it almost exceeded the limit of what the naked eye could see. The area was shrouded in his territory. His speed was elevated to a terrifying level in the shortest time. Shwa! The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's law manifestation realm expert instantly rushed up and slapped down directly. However, just as he was about to hit Yishuan moved. His figure directly turned into a cluster of golden light and disappeared from everyone's eyes. Boom! The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's law manifestation realm expert's palm only hit a cluster of golden light. Then, the terrifying palm force poured directly into the ground, blasting a big hole in the ground instantly. Gravel flew everywhere. When Yishuan reappeared, he was already outside the range of the territory. Outside the territory, Yishuan suddenly felt comfortable all over. The feeling of suffocation that made it difficult to breathe finally disappeared. The feeling of suffocation also finally disappeared. The law manifestation realm vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert also looked at Yishuan in a daze. He actually failed. This brat actually broke through his territory and escaped. This was beyond his expectation. It was a great shame. Although he did not know how Yishuan did it, he might become a laughingstock for everyone with this alone. You are courting death. How dare you make a move in front of me? At this time, the Gui Yuan sect's law manifestation realm expert immediately made a move. He directly broke through the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's law manifestation realm expert's territory and slapped him with a palm. Puff! He spurted a mouthful of blood, and his body flew out directly. Even if it was the same law manifestation realm expert, there was a huge difference in strength between each other. You! The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's law manifestation expert glanced hatefully at the Gui Yuan sex experts and Yi Shiwen. Then, he led the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's experts away. At this time, he also hated the Poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan's experts. They were supposed to deal with Yi Shiwen together, but now they just watched Yi Shiwen being humiliated without taking any action. However, he could tell that the Poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan had no intention of helping them fight against the Origin Returning sect. They would only be humiliating themselves if they continued to stay. How could the Poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan's experts not know what the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's law manifestation expert was thinking? However, it was undoubtedly unwise to confront the Origin Returning sect at this time. In the turmoil just now, several overlords bore the brunt. Except for the Origin Returning sect's war chariot, the others suffered heavy losses. Although they were not nearly annihilated like the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan, they were not much better. At this time, even if the two clans joined forces, they might not be the opponents of the Origin Returning sect's experts. Unless the Sky-Splitting Whale Clan's experts joined forces. However, the Sky-Splitting Whale Clan's experts were obviously watching a good show. It was impossible to unite against the Origin Returning sect's human experts. At this time, how could they stand up for the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's experts? Moreover, although they were beaten up by Yi Shiwen, they did not have a deep hatred like the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan. It was impossible for them to risk their lives for them. The experts of various clans were stunned. It turned out to be such an ending. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan caught Yi Shiwen unexpectedly. Then, Gui Yuan sect fought against the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan for Yi Shiwen. Moreover, the final result was that the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan, which had always been tough, gave up on pursuing Yi Shiwen. This was unexpected for everyone. After the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's experts left, the experts of various clans did not stay for long. They also left one after another. There was nothing interesting to watch if they stayed. After a while, only Yi Shiwen and the Origin Returning sect's experts were left in the vast venue. Yi Shiwen stepped forward and cupped his hands. "Thank you for your life-saving grace." Although Yi Shiwen was confident that he could safely escape from the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's experts, it was an indisputable fact that they saved him. Moreover, they fought against the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's experts for his sake. In any case, Yi Shiwen owed them a favor, which made him have a better impression on the Origin Returning sect. "I'm afraid that even without our help, little brother, you can still leave freely. I was a busybody," the old man from the Origin Returning sect said with a smile. Although he said so, the corners of his mouth were overflowing with a smile. As he said so, everyone remembered that when the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's law manifestation realm experts ambushed, Yi Shiwen easily broke free from the shackles of the territory. In other words, even if they did not take action, Yi Shiwen might not be in danger. The greatest advantage of the law manifestation realm experts was the use of territory. Without the advantage of territory, there was no doubt that their strength would be weakened a lot. It would not be so easy to deal with Yi Shiwen. Moreover, Yi Shiwen was able to avoid such a quick ambush. Needless to say, Yi Shiwen could escape even if they did not intervene just now. "No wonder you are so calm. It turns out that you have a trump card." Pei Xingqian stepped forward and patted Yi Shiwen's shoulder, saying, "Ai, it's a pity. I wouldn't have come out if I knew." Pei Xingqian was completely friendly, giving people a strange feeling. However, it would be a big mistake to underestimate him because of this. "No matter what, you stood up for me today, this favor, I will acknowledge it," Yi Shiwen said in a serious manner. "Well, you're straightforward. I told you that you are not a pretentious person. In fact, it's nothing. It's just that we have long been unhappy with the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan. My elder brother even died in their hands. In my lifetime, I must reach the pinnacle of martial arts and destroy the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan. Pei Xingqian still looked a little sloppy at first, but gradually, the murderous aura on his face became heavier. Yi Shiwen was a little shocked. If Pei Xingqian's idea spread out, it would definitely cause a great commotion. What kind of existence was the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan? It was a terrifying inheritance that existed for tens of thousands of years. There were many experts in the clan. There were even many law manifestation realm experts. Even if Ge Yuan sect exhausted its power, there was no way to overturn the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan. Pei Xingqian actually set the destruction of the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan as his goal. It showed how deep his hatred for the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan was. However, Yi Shiwen understood Pei Xingqian very well. If his brother and sister were killed, he would also go crazy. Not to mention the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan in front of him. Even if it was the god of heaven, he would still kill it. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan was nothing. However, looking at the expressions of the Ge Yuan sect people, it was obvious that they were already used to it. At this time, the law manifestation realm elder from the Ge Yuan sect said, "I think you must be wondering why we must save you, even at the cost of offending the entire vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan." Yi Shiwen nodded. "AI, this is also related to the situation of our human clan in the entire Endless Sea region. In the Flourished Cloud Sea region, our human clan's situation is not bad. Although we can't overwhelm the Sea clan, in general, it can be regarded as an equal," the elder continued. "But in general, when our human clan faces the Sea clan, we lose more than we win. Our human clan is an outsider in the Endless Sea region, not a native. Compared to these Sea clans, we are naturally at a disadvantage. They can exert 120% of their strength here, and we can only be weakened." Yi Shiwen listened quietly. The human clan's situation in the Endless Sea region was worse than he imagined. At least, relatively speaking, the Flourished Cloud Sea region was still acceptable. However, in the Flourished Cloud Sea region, he could still see that the human clan had to tolerate the Sea clan in many matters. They dared not really have a huge conflict. This was also related to the overall weakness of the human clan in the Endless Sea region. In this situation, any young expert of our human clan could be targeted by the other party. In our Ge Yuan sect, several former young sect masters were killed by the other party. It can be said that we have suffered a heavy loss," the old man said with a cold smile. He seemed to have recalled some bad memories and his murderous aura was overflowing from his body. For any young human expert to grow up, he or she must face the surprise attacks of the Sea clan clans. He or she must go through more hardships before he or she can grow up. Even Xingqian has encountered many sneak attacks. We didn't expect your appearance. If I'm not mistaken, you shouldn't be a martial artist from our Flourished Cloud Sea region. Yi Shiwen nodded. He was shocked. He didn't expect the situation to be so bad. Even a young sect master like Pei Xingqian would suffer from underhanded schemes. Yi Shiwen had suffered underhanded schemes more than once or twice along the way, but he didn't take it to heart. He only thought it was because he offended the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan. It seemed that it was far from that simple. No wonder the poisonous flaming dragon clan targeted him so easily. Is it really because of the poisonous young master? It's not easy for our human clan to have an expert, but it's not just that. After a while, you will naturally know why we saved you. Now you'd better go with us. Whether it is the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan or the poisonous flaming dragon clan, I'm sure they are still nearby. If you go out alone, you will definitely be ambushed by them," the elder from the Ge Yuan sect said. "If you don't have anything urgent to do, you can stay in our Ge Yuan sect for a while. The competition for the top 100 list is about to begin. Thank you for your hospitality." Yi Shiwen did not refuse, not only because of the possible ambush by the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan and the poisonous flaming dragon clan, but most importantly, he also needed a quiet environment to push his cultivation to Transcendent Realm's 6th level. Chapter 995. Guiyuan Sect, Guiyuan Island. Although it was only an island, it had a radius of hundreds of thousands of miles. It could be considered a small continent. The entire Guiyuan Island was occupied by the Guiyuan Sect. Dozens of spiritual veins were captured from the sea and connected to the bottom of the island. They provided spiritual energy to the Guiyuan Island day and night. The spiritual energy on the Guiyuan Island was several times more than the outside world. In some hidden places, the spiritual energy was several times more than here. Now Yishiwen was in a sealed closed-door cultivation room. Any abnormalities inside would not affect the outside world. Yishiwen could also break through with peace of mind. After laying down another layer of array, Yishiwen finally began to break through to the Transcendent Realm's 6th level. Transcendent Realm 5th level and Transcendent Realm 6th level were naturally different. If the Transcendent Realm was divided into 3 stages, then the Transcendent Realm's 6th level would be the Transcendent Realm Intermediate Peak. If he ascended to the Transcendent Realm 7th level, he would be considered to have ascended to the Transcendent Realm Late Stage. During this period, Yishiwen's accumulation was extremely profound. Ascending to the Transcendent Realm's 6th level was only a matter of time. If he had enough time, he could even ascend to the Transcendent Realm's 7th level in one go. Amidst the almost materialized spiritual energy, Yishiwen couldn't help but sigh. The disciples of the major sects were indeed incomparable to the average individual cultivator. Just the cultivation environment alone was already 10 times or even dozens of times better than the average person. The average person would never be able to catch up to them even if they pursued for a lifetime. Moreover, the disciples of these major sects were all top-notch geniuses from Tianzi Zonhan. They were innately stronger than the average person. Furthermore, they were nurtured after birth. It would be difficult for them to not be outstanding. The pores all over his body suddenly opened up, and an endless amount of spiritual energy began to be absorbed by him. Every time he wanted to break through, the amount of spiritual energy he needed was more than an astronomical figure. If he had to accumulate it by himself, no matter how much wealth he had accumulated, it would be quickly used up. However, he didn't need to be polite since he was in the Guiyuan sect. The Guiyuan sect had existed for countless years. Their accumulation was much deeper than the true martial universities. This spirit energy was an astronomical amount of wealth for Yishiwen. However, it was just a drop in the bucket for the Guiyuan sect. How could they recruit so many disciples if they couldn't even afford this? Even so, Yishiwen's crazy absorption of spiritual energy still alarmed the Guiyuan sect's higher-ups. The Guiyuan sect's higher-ups, who were hidden in the layers of mysterious space, focused their attention on him. Generally, the spiritual energy absorbed by the law manifestation realm experts with all their might not be as ferocious as this. This was just a Transcendent Realm 5th level kid. This piqued the interest of many high-level members of the Guiyuan sect. They all knew about Yishiwen's origin. However, they didn't know how he had cultivated. How could he cause such a huge commotion with just a breakthrough? Yishiwen didn't know that he had attracted the attention of the Guiyuan sect's higher-ups. He was focused on absorbing spiritual energy and breaking through the last step. However, even if he knew, he wouldn't have much of a reaction. If they want to see, then let them see. Ascending to the Transcendent Realm's 6th level was only a matter of time. Yishiwen's accumulation was already deep, and there was no longer any progress. However, it took him more than a month to ascend to the Transcendent Realm. Boom! After more than a month, Yishiwen, who had been sitting cross-legged like a stone statue for more than a month, suddenly opened his eyes. A long roar transformed into rolling sound waves that spread in all directions. An aura that was much more powerful than before suddenly spread out from his body. Even the sturdy formation in the secret room was instantly flattened by this aura. Transcendent Realm 6th level. When Yishiwen was at the Transcendent Realm 5th level, he could already kill an ordinary Transcendent Realm 9th level expert. Now that he had truly ascended to the Transcendent Realm 6th level, Any transcendent realm 9th level expert was nothing in front of him. However, the phenomenon on his body only lasted for a moment. Soon Yishuan retracted it, like a treasured sword hidden in its scabbard. His aura convergence technique became more and more proficient. If one didn't know him, it would be hard to imagine that he was a top-notch expert who slaughtered Transcendent Realm 9th level experts many times. After Yishuan exited his seclusion, he learned that the flourished Cloud Sea region was in an uproar because of him. Yishuan's name had also become famous overnight in the world. Take a look at his ferocious battle record. Even Transcendent Realm 9th level experts were slaughtered by him. He was not a Transcendent Realm 7th level or 8th level expert. In the flourished Cloud Sea region, the Law Manifestation Realm experts did not come out. Each of them was in closed-door cultivation, striving to reach a higher realm before the end of their lifespan. They even wanted to touch the mysterious and unattainable realm of immortality. Half-step Law Manifestation experts would not come out easily. They were also in close cultivation, striving to break into the Law Manifestation realm. Only the experts who broke into the Law Manifestation realm could be regarded as influential in the flourished Cloud Sea region. They would be respected wherever they went. Therefore, in the hearts of many warriors in the flourished Cloud Sea region, the Transcendent Realm 9th level was almost a top-notch expert. Ordinary people could not even dream of it. Especially for many warriors below the Transcendent Realm, they did not know the existence of the Law Manifestation experts. For them, the Transcendent Realm 9th level was already the supreme existence that ruled the entire flourished Cloud Sea region. For example, the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan's Elder 18 had been dispatched many times. He was a veteran Transcendent Realm 9th level expert with a fierce reputation. Many people knew his name more than the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan's clan leader. Such an expert died in Yishuan's hands, and more than one. As time passed, more and more details were revealed. Yishuan did not kill the Transcendent Realm 9th level expert in a one-on-one battle. Instead, he killed multiple Transcendent Realm 9th level experts when he was ambushed. This was a completely different situation from one-on-one. Yishuan's image suddenly became incomparably lofty among many people. They did not know that even among the Transcendent Realm 9th level, there were strong and weak. Even the extremely strong Transcendent Realm 9th level expert could kill a newly ascended Transcendent Realm 9th level expert with a slap. For them, Yishuan, who could easily slaughter the Transcendent Realm 9th level expert, was already amazing. Many people even cried out in surprise. Could it be that the experts of the younger generation were already so powerful? However, these news were nothing compared to the news that came out immediately afterward. Crown Prince Crocodile died. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan's young clan leader, Crown Prince Crocodile, died. As soon as this news came out, the entire flourished Cloud Sea region was in an uproar. Although the heirs of the Overlord forces had fallen in the past, they often died in accidents such as in the ruins and the like. At least, this was the case on the surface. But now, the evidence was conclusive. Many people saw with their own eyes that Crown Prince Crocodile died in Yishuan's hands. Everyone was stunned by Yishuan's audacity. Compared with the courage to kill Crown Prince Crocodile, the surprise of his strength was not so eye-catching. Not only was Crown Prince Crocodile killed, but the poisonous Flaming Dragon clan's poisonous young master also fled in panic twice. This added a mysterious halo to Yishuan. Some people even faintly began to call him the top expert of the younger generation. That was nothing. Later, the fierce collision between the two overlords, Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan and Guiyuan sect, broke out. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan would not let it go after the death of Crown Prince Crocodile. They must hunt down Yishuan and let him die without a burial place. However, Guiyuan sect came forward to protect Yishuan. This immediately brought the relationship between the two overlords to a freezing point. Although their relationship was already bad, it was still rare to see such a confrontation. Even the confrontation between the two overlord forces faintly triggered a confrontation between the two behemoths in the flourished Cloud Sea region, the human clan and sea clan. The two sides had been peaceful for countless years. At this time, there was a hint of tit for tat. No one was willing to give in. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's young clan master died. They naturally vented their anger. They even contacted many sea clans to pressure the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan. However, they did not expect that the human clan, which was quite tolerant in the past, seemed to be stimulated by something at this time. They faintly stood behind Ge Yuan sect and supported Ge Yuan sect. The conflict between the two behemoths in the human sea was almost on the verge of breaking out. At this time, Sea Dragon Mansion also issued an announcement that the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan would not be allowed to openly harm the human clan elites. They directly stood with Ge Yuan sect. The unyielding attitude of the two overlords of the human race had left many people dumbfounded. And this was all because of Yi Shiwen alone. Could it be that Yi Shiwen had a mysterious origin? Many people could only think in this direction. Apart from that, they could not come up with any reason to convince themselves. Even many Sea Clan experts thought so. Apart from that, there seemed to be no other reason for the two human overlords to stand behind Yi Shiwen at this time. Even Yi Shiwen was a little puzzled. Others might not know, but how could he not know? It was possible to say that they were interested in his potential. The so-called background was pure nonsense. It was ridiculous. If he really had a background, it could only be true martial school. However, with true martial school's power in this ancient Baron's continent, it was not comparable to a family like the Wang family. What was the reason then? But at this time, he could not think too much. The top 100 list competition that happened once every 30 years was about to begin. Everyone's attention was suddenly attracted to this competition. Chapter 996. The reason why the competition for the top 100 list could attract so many people's attention was because it would be the most intense one. Now, the top few experts on the list had news of slaughtering Transcendent Realm 9th level experts, which meant that their strength had reached the peak. Similarly, their age had also reached the limit to participate in the top 100 list competition. After that, they would either pass the age limit or break into a higher realm. They wouldn't want to participate in such a ranking competition at all. In other words, when the next top 100 list competition came, their strength would inevitably decline by one level, or even several levels. It would only be interesting to watch when the next batch of geniuses grew up. It could even be said that this year's top 100 list competition was far beyond everyone's imagination. In the countless top 100 list competitions, it was a gathering of geniuses. In the past, a genius who entered the Transcendent Realm 9th level would be able to suppress his peers and laugh proudly. But now, the poisonous young master, flaming young master, and others had defeated or killed Transcendent Realm 9th level experts. Not to mention Yi Shiwen, the infamous demon god. There were also many other forces experts. This year's competition would be exceptionally intense, far beyond everyone's imagination. What's more, with so many experts, it would attract some experts who originally disdained to participate. At that time, it would be an unprecedented grand occasion. With such thoughts in mind, countless experts began to head towards the top 100 island. No one remembered the original name of the top 100 island. They only remembered that a long time ago, the top 100 island was used as the competition venue for the top 100 list competition. Over time, no one remembered the original name, and it was only called the top 100 island. In order to withstand the aftermath of the younger generation experts' battle, this island had been reinforced countless times by countless predecessors. It could be said to be extremely sturdy. This island was also jointly controlled by the 3 overlords of the human race and the 3 overlords of the sea race, a total of 6 major forces. Normally, no one was allowed to approach this small island. Only when it was time for the top 100 rankings would it be opened for everyone to enter. Every 30 years, the entire top 100 island would become unusually lively. In the holy land of the poisonous flaming dragon clan, a figure was sitting cross-legged above the poisonous smoke volcano. It was the poisonous young master. At this moment, his entire body was surrounded by poisonous gas. More and more poisonous gas was being extracted from the poisonous smoke volcano and integrated into his body. His cultivation was also becoming more profound. Suddenly, he opened his eyes. His eyes were abnormally cold, and a dark green poisonous gas flashed through them. Yishiwen, 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 I must dismember your body into 10,000 pieces and let you die a miserable death. What a proud genius he was. He had always been the one bullying others. When had he ever been bullied by others? Even if it was the other great genius from the same clan, the Flame Young Master, he had never placed him in his eyes. He was the number one person in the younger generation of the flourished Cloud Sea region. The others were nothing to worry about. Who would have thought that he would suffer a big loss in the hands of Yishiwen? The poison technique that he was so proud of was completely restrained by Yishiwen, and he simply didn't have the strength to fight back. With his personality, how could he let the matter rest? The top 100 list competition is starting. You must come. Otherwise, I will be too disappointed. As he spoke, he straightened his body and strode out of the range of the poisonous smoke volcano. As soon as he came out, he saw a young man looking at him from afar with a bit of indifference in his eyes. This person was none other than the other top young master of the poisonous flaming dragon clan, the Flame Young Master. I heard that you were defeated by that human, and you still fled in the middle of the night? A bit of sarcasm flashed across the corner of the Flame Young Master's mouth. Obviously, the relationship between the two sides was not so harmonious. You'd better take care of yourself. In this top 100 list competition, I want him to die without a burial place. The poisonous young master did not deny it. This was already a well-known matter, although he was also annoyed that the Flame Young Master exposed his shortcomings. It doesn't matter if you want to dismember his body into 10,000 pieces or die without a burial place. Anyway, you will all be the losers. The one who can win the championship in the end is only me, said the Flame Young Master lightly. What did you say? The poisonous young master suddenly glared at the Flame Young Master. Who are you saying is the loser? Do you want to fight with me here first? Now? Why not? Anyway, it's just a matter of time, said the Flame Young Master coldly. In the holy land of the Sky-Splitting Whale clan, Jing Wuyuan strode out of the holy land. This time, the champion must be me. At the same time, in the Sea Demon clan, the two young masters of the Sea Demon clan, Boundless Sea and Wuyo, also stepped on the journey to the top 100 list. Brother, why do we have to go to the top 100 list and compete with the Sea clan and the Human clan for a position in the top 100 list? Don't we always ignore how they fight in the outside world? Above the sea, endless sea breeze blew, and Wuyo said with some confusion. Because our ancestor has left the Chaos Demon Sea. The reason why the Human clan and the Sea clan didn't attack the Chaos Demon Sea before, in addition to planning to use the Chaos Demon Sea as a training ground, the most important reason is that they are afraid of the existence of the ancestor, said Boundless Sea. Now that the ancestor has left, they are no longer afraid. If we don't strive to integrate into the Chaos Demon Sea, when the armies of the two clans come, it will be the time for our Sea Demon clan to be destroyed. Without the ancestor, our Sea Demon clan no longer has the prerequisite to be isolated from the world. The only way is to integrate into the Chaos Demon clan. What's more, there are so many young masters in the outside world. If we can't see them one by one, we will have regrets in this life. The Sealed Demon was obviously the ancestor of the Sea Demon clan, but the relationship between the two sides was definitely not harmonious. The Sea Demon clan had not tried to release this ancestor for so many years. After the demon was released, he quickly gave up on the Sea Demon clan and had no intention of staying at all. Then we must leave our names on the top 100 list. Everyone was advancing towards the top 100 island. Yishiwen, who was in the Guyuan sect, finally came out of seclusion. However, Pei Xingqian had not come out of seclusion yet. He was working hard to ascend from Transcendent Realm 8th level to Transcendent Realm 9th level. His foundation was not as deep as Yishiwen's. Moreover, it was more difficult to ascend from Transcendent Realm 8th level to Transcendent Realm 9th level than Yi Shiwen's Transcendent Realm 5th level to 6th level. Yi Shiwen came to the place where Pei Xingqian cultivated in seclusion and waited quietly. When he came out, they would leave. Not only Yi Shiwen, but there were also several Guiyuan sect's Transcendent Realm 7th level and 8th level experts. They were the elites among the elites of this generation of Guiyuan sect's younger generation. Although they were not as good as Pei Xingqian, they were all experts who would participate in the top 100 list this time. As the overlord of the flourished Cloud Sea region, Guiyuan sect's foundation was profound. Since Yi Shiwen was not a Guiyuan sect disciple, he was incompatible with the Guiyuan sect's disciples. He stood quietly at the side, waiting for Pei Xingqian to come out of seclusion. Yi Shiwen could sense the changes in the aura coming from inside. Pei Xingqian's strength was gradually getting stronger, and he was not far from the day of breakthrough. While Yi Shiwen was paying attention to Pei Xingqian's seclusion, the Guiyuan sect's disciples were also paying attention to him. Yi Shiwen had become quite famous during this period, but it was the first time he saw him in person. He was the kid who had turned the flourished Cloud Sea region upside down and even caused several overlords to be in a stalemate. He didn't seem to be anything special. His cultivation was only at Transcendent Realm 6th level. Among the younger generation, such a cultivation was considered decent. However, it was nothing in front of them. Even so, no one dared to underestimate this Transcendent Realm 6th level brat. After all, he was an existence that slaughtered even Transcendent Realm 9th level experts. Just how many people did he kill to be labeled as a massacre? Such a battle record was something they didn't dare to look at all. Among the Guiyuan sect's disciples in this generation, only Pei Xingqian could be compared to him. To be able to kill a Transcendent Realm 9th level expert at Transcendent Realm 6th level, no, previously at Transcendent Realm 5th level, such an outstanding talent would be a glorious existence in any generation. Even so, it was somewhat unreasonable for the Guiyuan sect to confront the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan. They weren't clear about the higher-ups' plans, but they didn't dare to underestimate Yi Shiwen. Since the higher-ups did this, there must be a reason. Boom! Suddenly, the door that had been in seclusion for a long time was finally kicked open. Pei Xingqian suddenly jumped out from inside. Ha ha ha, I'm finally out! Pei Xingqian laughed loudly. The Transcendent Realm 9th level's aura instantly swept out. The surrounding Guiyuan sect's disciples suddenly lost their footing. Only Yi Shiwen was unaffected, as if a breeze was caressing his face. The Guiyuan sect's disciples' faces suddenly changed. They didn't expect Pei Xingqian, who came out of seclusion, to be so powerful. Even the average Transcendent Realm 9th level expert didn't have such a powerful aura. Chunner, since you're out, let's go. I'm afraid it'll be too late. At this time, a stream of light flashed. In the sky, the Guiyuan sect's law manifestation elder appeared in front of everyone. This time, the Guiyuan sect would personally lead the team to the top 100 island. Yes. Pei Xingqian laughed and nodded. Yi Shiwen, I originally wanted to compete with you. Anyway, the top 100 competition is coming soon. We have plenty of opportunities to compete. Pei Xingqian's eyes were burning with the flames of war. He had just entered the Transcendent Realm 9th level, which made him a little confident. Yi Shiwen was also one of the opponents he wanted to defeat. Chapter 997. Streaks of light streaked across the top 100 islands. The top 100 islands were usually hidden by the 6 great overlords. Only during the top 100 rankings tournament, which was held once every 30 years, would it be revealed. On this day, it was time to compete for the top 100 list again. In addition to the experts of the younger generation who were originally going to participate in the competition, there were also many warriors who dared to come from far away to watch the fun. This was a rare martial arts grand ceremony for decades. Although it was only the younger generation experts fighting, it would be a big mistake to think that the level of competition was low. Although these experts of the younger generation were very young, in terms of strength, even among the experts of the older generation, they were the cream of the crop. In the flourished Cloud Sea region, law manifestation experts were rare. Even half-step law manifestation experts were rare. In everyone's mind, Transcendent Realm 9th level was already the top expert. However, these younger generation experts, especially those at the peak, had either defeated or killed Transcendent Realm 9th level experts. It truly proved that the monstrous geniuses were a group of people that couldn't be measured by common sense. If one were to measure their strength by age, then they might die miserably. Although it was only a battle between the younger generation experts, for many individual martial artists, it might be the highest level of martial artists they could see in their lives. Moreover, once these young geniuses stepped into a certain realm, they would be able to easily defeat the veteran powerhouses of that realm. They might all be Transcendent Realm 9th level, but their strength was far more powerful than Transcendent Realm 9th level, several times, or even dozens of times. For them, it was not only the younger generation's martial arts grand ceremony, but also their martial arts grand ceremony. A Saiyan figure entered the top 100 island quietly under such circumstances. It was Yi Shiwen. In the end, he gave up the plan to travel with the Origin returning sect and came to the top 100 island alone. Although the top 100 island was only a small island, it had undergone countless generations of arrangements. Although it would only flourish for a period of time every 30 years, it was enough to become one of the most prosperous islands in the flourished Cloud Sea region. It was like a huge city. Buildings from tens of thousands of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years ago, or even hundreds of thousands of years ago could be seen in the city. These buildings were incompatible with the atmosphere of the present. However, everyone was used to it. As the ancient Barrens continent that had inherited countless years of civilization, it was unknown how many years it had taken for any dynasty to come and go. Many people would go into seclusion for thousands of years or even thousands of years. Hence, they were already used to such changes. Only Yi Shiwen was somewhat unaccustomed to the passage of time. Fortunately, in any case, the passage of time between warriors was much slower than that between mortals, because the replacement of warriors was also very slow, and the lifespan of warriors was too long. This was especially true for some ancient families, who might still retain the etiquette and habits from hundreds of thousands of years ago. For Yi Shiwen, let alone 10,000 years, even 1,000 years was too long. In a bustling restaurant, countless warriors who arrived first were discussing the competition for the top 100 list. It's another 30 years of reincarnation. Time passes so quickly. It feels like another 30 years have passed in a seclusion. The last time I saw the poisonous young master, flaming young master, and the others, they were just Transcendent Realm 6th level or 7th level. Now they can tear apart Transcendent Realm 9th level experts. It seems that it won't take many years for them to enter the law manifestation realm. Yeah, how many years has it been since our flourished Cloud Sea region had so many outstanding juniors? In the past, it was already amazing to have one person enter the Transcendent Realm 9th level. However, there are so many in this generation. It's really a golden era. A great era is a chaotic era. Have you forgotten this ancient adage? The more outstanding they are, the more worried I am. In any case, the more outstanding they are, the more glory we, as the flourished Cloud Sea region's warriors, will have? Yes, in the Blood Realm trial, our flourished Cloud Sea region has been at the bottom for many years. This time, we must not continue to be at the bottom. This time, the battle between the younger generation will be interesting. After they have withdrawn from the top 100 list, it will not be easy to see such a large-scale battle between them again. Yeah, maybe in a few hundred years or 1,000 years, they will be the masters of the major overlord forces. At that time, they will be in a high position. It will be difficult for them to make a move in any situation. Will Sea Dragon Young Master still be the champion in this battle? Last time, Sea Dragon Young Master was the champion, defeating all the younger generation experts and ascending to the top. If it is the same this time, it will be a little boring. It shouldn't be. I don't think so. Another 30 years have passed, and they have all improved. The competition between the geniuses of the younger generation has just begun. Winning or losing for a while doesn't matter at all. They can overtake each other at any time. Although young Master Hai Long suppressed everyone in the last competition, it may not be the case now. Everyone nodded in agreement. It was very rare for the younger generation to be decided in a single battle. If it was in the past, it would be fine. Young Master Hai Long, Pei Xingchen, and the others, if any one of them appeared in the past, they would undoubtedly be the champion, and no one would doubt them. However, there were so many Heaven's Prides who could suppress all the outstanding heroes in the past in this generation. This made the outcome of the battle a mystery. Perhaps it would be thousands of years later when they all entered a stable period. Only then could the outcome be determined. But this time, in addition to Sea Dragon Young Master, I am more optimistic about Yi Shiwen. You all know what kind of character Crown Prince Crocodile is. He died in Yi Shiwen's hands. This junior is amazing! As soon as Yi Shiwen was mentioned, it immediately aroused the resonance of countless people in the restaurant. Everyone was very interested in this young man who suddenly emerged. Because he was strong enough. And he was mysterious enough. No one knew what kind of background he had. Most importantly, he almost triggered a full-scale conflict between the Gui Yuan sect and the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan. Among these factors, any one of them could attract the attention of many people, let alone so many factors. All of this announced that Yi Shiwen was extraordinary. Just like the unparalleled sword, when the unparalleled sword first appeared, it was also so eye-catching. No one knew his mysterious origin. Everything was unusually eye-catching. Chapter 998. Experts from various clans gathered in various restaurants. Although these restaurants could only open for a short period of time every 30 years, they could make a lot of money every time. Especially after so many years, they had made a lot of money. For who would win the championship in the end, the experts of various clans had their own guesses. The human clan experts naturally felt that the newcomer had a higher chance of winning. With the fact that young Master Sea Dragon won the championship, it was naturally more credible. On the other hand, the Sea Clan experts also thought that the younger generation of the Sea Clan was also full of experts. They would not necessarily lose to young Master Sea Dragon. For a while, everyone had their own opinions, but before the real battle began, no one knew who would win. However, among these news, one news caught Yi Shiwen's attention. After Crown Prince Crocodile, the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan should have no leader. Many people even speculated that without Crown Prince Crocodile as a leader, they should be much more low-key. Some even predicted that the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan might be absent from this top 100 list competition. For the younger generation experts, this might be an extremely important matter, but for a behemoth like the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan, it was nothing at all. Never mind not participating in 1 year, even if they did not participate in 10 years, they would still be one of the overlords of the flourished Cloud Sea region. In this kind of ranking competition, it was not a big problem whether they participated or not. Many of the younger generation experts in the flourished Cloud Sea region were not interested in participating at all. It was fine if they did not participate. However, if they participated and could not get into the top 10, then it would be shameful. If Crown Prince Crocodile was here, it would not be a problem for them to win the top 10. They even had a chance to win the championship. However, after the absence of Crown Prince Crocodile, this year's competition was full of geniuses. The experts promoted by the major forces would have the strength to win the championship in previous years. However, in this year's competition, they were only the favorites to win the championship. It was conceivable that this year's competition was fierce. They might not even get into the top 10. In that case, it would be a great shame. It was better not to participate. Many people thought so. Even Yi Shiwen thought so. But the result was not the case. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan not only came with great fanfare, but also promoted another monstrous genius to replace Crown Prince Crocodile's position. There was no news about this genius named Crocodiling. Although everyone had never heard of this person named Crocodiling, They quickly dug out information about him. It was said that hundreds of years ago, he once competed with Crown Prince Crocodile for supremacy. The two sides had been competing from the innate realm to the Great Sage realm. After reaching the Great Sage realm, Crocodile's shadow gradually quieted down. People thought that he was another meteor-like figure, shining for a while and then completely annihilated. Unexpectedly, after Crown Prince Crocodile fell, he appeared in front of everyone again. Although some of the older generation knew crocodiling, that was the information from hundreds of years ago. Not many people knew Crocodile Ying's current strength. However, since he could be pushed out to replace Crown Prince Crocodile, his strength would obviously not be bad. Therefore, after Yishiwen, crocodiling once again became the topic of everyone's discussion. Everyone was amazed. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan's foundation was deeper than they thought. They thought that after Crown Prince Crocodile fell, the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan could no longer push out a leader. Unexpectedly, there was still one hidden. At this time, everyone obviously understood that this should be the strategy prepared by the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan. Crown Prince Crocodile was just the one pushed out on the surface. Ying was one of the backups they prepared. However, only an overlord force like the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan could come up with such a plan. It was already remarkable for an ordinary force to have such a genius, let alone hiding one. It was simply impossible. Yishiwen also secretly became vigilant. A clan like the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan was definitely not comparable to ordinary clans. It had a deep foundation and should not be underestimated. This time, the competition for the top 10 of the top 100 list was more intense than he imagined. Since crocodiling had emerged, how many unknown experts would emerge? Thinking of this, Yishiwen only felt his blood boiling. Wasn't it his real purpose to come to the ancient Baron's continent? But just as everyone was discussing fiercely, there was a fierce noise coming from the downstairs. Everyone came to the window and looked down. Yishiwen looked down and saw two groups of people confronting each other on the street. The oppressive side was the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts that everyone was discussing now. In this top 100 list competition, many Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts came. At this time, more than half of them came. In a shadow behind these Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts, a figure stood in it, as if to integrate with the shadow. If it weren't for Yishiwen's sharp eyes, he might not even be able to find the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan expert hidden in the shadow. Like a poisonous snake in the shadow, it could pounce out of the shadow at any time. Even just a glance gave people a sense of extreme danger. Although Yishiwen didn't know the person's name, he guessed the person's name almost immediately. It should be Crocodile Shadow, who was now the focus of everyone's discussion. On the other side, there was also a group of people, but they were obviously much worse than the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan. Their aura was completely suppressed. The two people in the lead were also Yishiwen's old acquaintances. They were Bai Hanmo and Yao Qian, whom he had not seen for a long time. After not seeing each other for such a long time, both of their cultivation had made great progress. Yao Qian, who was still in close cultivation to break through to Transcendent Realm 7th level, had now entered Transcendent Realm 8th level. Bai Hanmo's cultivation was even more amazing. He had entered Transcendent Realm 8th level peak. He was not inferior to Crown Prince Crocodile and others before entering the Demon Subduing Tower. It was only a matter of time before he caught up with Yishiwen and others. Bai Hanmo's talent was as Yishiwen had guessed before. Once he got serious, his talent and speed would not be worse than Crown Prince Crocodile and others. He might even be stronger. He had great talent. As long as he cultivated seriously, he would soon have unexpected achievements. Judging from his current situation, he was not far from entering Transcendent Realm 9th level. It was just a matter of time. Yishiwen looked at the overall situation. Bai Hanmo and others were surrounded by the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan. As for why the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan besieged them, Yishiwen knew it must be because of him. Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce helping Yishiwen was not a secret. Many people knew it, especially after Yishiwen became famous in the flourished Cloud Sea region. Many people were amazed that Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce had the courage to go against the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan. Even in the entire flourished Cloud Sea region, few forces dared to go against the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan. Now that they couldn't find Yishiwen, they would definitely find trouble with Yao Qian. After all, this matter was caused by Yishiwen. Does your vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan want to start a war with our human clan before the top 100 list competition? Yao Qian said, gritting her teeth. If there was a conflict, most of them were not the opponents of these vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts. Therefore, they had to use words to restrain these crocodiles. Sister Yao, why are you talking so much with these stinky crocodiles? They don't have a list to find trouble with Brother Yi, so they came to us. At most, we will fight them. Before I went out, my mother gave me something good. I will kill them! Before the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts could speak, Bai Hanmo had already shouted. Listening to his tone, it seemed that killing these vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts was not much more difficult than killing a bug. The surrounding people were in an uproar. They all looked at Bai Hanmo in amazement. Is he out of his mind? These vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts in front of them were not easy to deal with. They wanted to kill them. Only Yishiwen knew that Bai Hanmo was not boasting. From the beginning when he met Bai Hanmo, he knew that Bai Hanmo's origin was mysterious. He even guessed that Bai Hanmo might be a descendant of a big family in the ancient Barrens continent. The descendants of these big families were rich and had a variety of means. Which of them did not have one or two life-saving means? Maybe there was a way to kill these vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts. In the eyes of others, Bai Hanmo was just being stubborn. However, in Yishiwen's view, Bai Hanmo was by no means the kind of person who liked to boast. Maybe this little guy really had such a plan. If he really killed these vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts in front of him, then he would definitely become the second most wanted criminal in the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan, second only to Yishiwen. Arrogant! These vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts were completely enraged by Bai Hanmo. As the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts, they had noble status and powerful strength. Since when were they so despised? What did he mean by killing them? Are they bugs? Can they be killed at will? You have guts. I want to see if you are still so tough after I break all your bones. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert made a brazen move. He was also a transcendent realm 8th level expert. Chapter 999. Although they were not the younger generation, the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan could send so many transcendent realms 7th level and 8th level experts. It showed the depth of the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's foundation. Yishiwen killed many of them previously. Later, they suffered a big loss in the hands of the vicious beast. Now, they could still send so many experts. It was conceivable how deep their foundation was. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert didn't even take out his weapon. He directly clawed through the air, bursting the air on the spot. Suddenly, the 5 claws grabbed Bai Hanmo. Facing the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert, Bai Hanmo wasn't afraid at all. He just sneered. He didn't even pull out his weapon. He directly greeted with a punch. His fist seemed to be covered with a jade-like color, flowing with colorful streamers. Boom! A loud explosion came from the point of contact, and sparks flew in all directions. It could be seen how intense the fight between the two sides was. The terrifying shockwaves even caused the specially reinforced space on the top 100 island to distort a little. But to everyone's surprise, a figure flew out directly. It was not Bai Hanmo, but the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert spat out a mouthful of blood. He immediately flew out and crashed into the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts behind him. Boom! Boom! Immediately, several Transcendent Realm 7th level and 8th level vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts had their bones broken. Their bodies were swept out. "Can't withstand a single blow," said Bihanmo with a grin. He didn't even look at the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts who were blown away by his punch. It seemed that he didn't care at all. These people couldn't even withstand one punch from him. What qualifications did they have for him to pay attention to them? At this time, everyone finally recovered. Thinking about Bihanmo's words, they had a completely different view from just now. Perhaps this young man was not just boasting about killing these vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts. He might be able to do it. "Who is this person? Why is he so powerful?" someone said. "The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's expert is also a veteran Transcendent Realm 8th level expert, but he couldn't even take one punch. Has he reached the realm of poisonous young master and flaming young master? I don't know. I've never seen this person before. But that's normal. Isn't there always this kind of young expert that we've never seen before? It's precisely because of this that the competition for the top 100 list is so interesting. Just like the unparalleled sword from before, didn't he also come out without any warning? Perhaps it was because of Yi Shiwen's valiant battle record, or perhaps it was because of other reasons. In short, the moment she saw Yi Shiwen appear, she relaxed a lot. These vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts in front of her no longer felt difficult to deal with. Seeing that everyone had seen him, Yi Shiwen no longer hid. He took a step forward, and his figure disappeared instantly. When he appeared again, he was already in front of Yao Qian and Bihanmo. Regardless of the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan members on the other side, Yi Shiwen just smiled and said to Yao Qian and Bihanmo, "I haven't seen you for a long time. You are getting stronger." Initially, Yi Shiwen thought that Yao Qian could enter the Transcendent Realm 7th level. Now, she had entered the Transcendent Realm 8th level. Although she had just entered, it was already beyond Yi Shiwen's expectation. Bihanmo was more surprising than Yao Qian. Before Yao Qian spoke, Bihanmo had already said first, Right. I am much stronger than before." Ha! Obviously, it was a very happy thing for Bihanmo to be recognized by Yi Shiwen. After experiencing the previous incident, Bihanmo was much more mature than the beginning. He knew that he had to work hard to cultivate. This world was definitely countless times more dangerous than he imagined, but his temperament had not changed much. He was still like a child. Just as everyone was still guessing who the person in front of them was, a vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert suddenly recognized Yi Shiwen's identity and exclaimed, "Yi Shiwen, are you Yi Shiwen?" At this time, everyone was in an uproar. "He is Yi Shiwen? No way. He is Yi Shiwen. He is really bold. At this time, he is not with the Guiyuan sect. Isn't he afraid of being killed by the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts? How is it possible? On this top 100 island, those law manifestation experts are not allowed to make a move. Except for the law manifestation experts, how many people can be Yi Shiwen's opponent? He doesn't seem to be that powerful. Legend has it that he had beheaded many Transcendent Realm 9th level experts. Is this true? It doesn't look like it. How can he be so powerful?" The crowd was in an uproar. Everyone was discussing this matter. They were still talking about Yi Shiwen previously. Who knew that in the blink of an eye, the legendary protagonist actually appeared beside them? There were also many people who were gossiping just now. At this time, they were glad that they didn't say anything bad about Yi Shiwen. Otherwise, it would be terrible if Yi Shiwen heard it at this time. In fact, this was a person who dared to kill the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's young clan master. What else couldn't he do? Even Crown Prince Crocodile did it, let alone them. Hearing that the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert identified Yi Shiwen's identity, Crocodile Shadow's face flashed a little. Obviously, he had heard a lot about Yishiwen during this time. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan hated Yishiwen even more. The death of Crown Prince Crocodile was a heavy loss that their Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan could not afford to lose. In addition to Crown Prince Crocodile, several Transcendent Realm 9th level experts also died in Yishiwen's hands. The loss was huge. Although the resentment was not hurt, the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan, who had always been arrogant, could not accept it. However, it was their business to hate Yishiwen. As for Crocodile Shadow, he just flashed a smile at the corner of his mouth. He stepped forward and said, "Are you Yishiwen?" "Yes, you are Crocodile Shadow," Yishiwen just said with a smile. Everyone was in an uproar again. If Yishiwen was the core of the discussion, then the other core was obviously the mysterious Crocodile Shadow of the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan. Unexpectedly, they met both of them. It felt like they met a ghost when they went out. However, everyone quickly restrained their thoughts. Compared to the clash between the two top experts of the younger generation that they were looking forward to, gossiping about them was nothing. "Yes." Crocodile Shadow did not hesitate and nodded directly. "Now you are a celebrity in our clan." "That's my honor," said Yishiwen with a smile. The Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan's people's faces immediately sank. They did not think it was an honor. On the contrary, it was their shame. "Speaking of which, I have to thank you," said Crocodile Shadow with a sinister smile. Chapter 1000. "Speaking of which, I have to thank you," Crocodile Shadow said with a sinister smile. "If you didn't kill Crown Prince Crocodile, I don't know when those old bastards will let me out." Crocodile Shadow's words sent chills down everyone's spines. Although it was just a simple sentence, the resentment in his words made everyone shudder in fear. A young genius who was only a few hundred years old had to live in the shadow of another person as the clan's reserve force. Although Crocodile Shadow gave him a cultivation environment not inferior to Crown Prince Crocodile, it was equivalent to being sacrificed for a young man at this age. If Yishiwen did not kill Crown Prince Crocodile, he might have to live in the shadow of Crown Prince Crocodile for the rest of his life. As one of the hidden forces of the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan, it was a cruel thing for a young man. For an expert of the younger generation, this was a cruel thing to do. Everyone could imagine how much resentment Crocodiling had for the clan. But when facing the will of the entire clan, even if he was reluctant, he had no choice. He could only be Crown Prince Crocodile's shadow and live under Crown Prince Crocodile's shadow. As a behemoth that had existed for countless years, the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan had long formed its own set of rules and regulations. While these Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts enjoyed the benefits of belonging to the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan, they were also bound by these rules. In any case, this was the naked reality. Now that Crown Prince Crocodile is no longer pressing on my head, I can breathe the air of this world freely. Ha 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 ha! Crocodile Shadow laughed as he spoke. It was as if he thought of something funny. He laughed so hard that tears came out of his eyes. Suddenly, Crocodile Shadow stopped laughing. He looked at Yishiwen and said, "To thank you, I will personally send you to hell. From now on, your name will be recorded in history. You will be the first Heaven's Pride that I kill." "Recorded in history? I don't want to be recorded in history." "You will not be the first genius I kill." Yishiwen narrowed his eyes and said coldly. His expression looked abnormally indifferent. If Crown Prince Crocodile was insolent like a lion dominating the world, then Crocodile's shadow was like a poisonous snake in the shadow. He might jump out of the shadow at any time and deal a fatal blow. This kind of venomous snake was even more terrifying than the lions on the surface. Crocodile's shadow seemed to not hear Yishiwen's words, or he completely ignored Yishiwen's words. He just said coldly, "Although those old guys can't wait for you to die, I will allow you to live until the duel. At that time, I will kill you in front of everyone." Crown Prince Crocodile is nothing. Only I am the one who should lead the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's future. Everyone took a deep breath. Crocodile Shadow planned to kill Yishiwen in front of everyone to establish his prestige. He was suppressed by Crown Prince Crocodile all year round and had to obey the arrangements of the entire clan. He must be Crown Prince Crocodile's shadow, the secret force cultivated by the clan. If it weren't for Crown Prince Crocodile dying in Yishiwen's hands this time, he might not have a chance to stand out in this life. His resentment toward Crown Prince Crocodile was imaginable. Now Crown Prince Crocodile died in Yishiwen's hands. If he could kill Yishiwen in front of everyone, wouldn't it prove that he was much stronger than Crown Prince Crocodile? Indirectly, it would be a slap in the face to the elders who decided to hide him. However, Crocodile's shadow was too confident. Even if he was on par with Crown Prince Crocodile, the person in front of him was the one who slaughtered Crown Prince Crocodile. How could he be so confident to kill Yishiwen in the duel? What if he was killed by Yishiwen instead? Obviously, Crocodile's shadow did not think of this result. Perhaps in his heart, this would not happen at all. Don't try to escape. You should know how much resentment those old fellows in our clan have towards you. You've destroyed the hope that they've personally forged. Haha. Once you leave the top 100 island, I'm afraid that they'll immediately chase after you. I hope that you won't die by their hands, but by my hands, Crocodile's shadow said plainly. Crown Prince Crocodile's death did not seem to be worth being sad for him. Even for the entire clan, it was a sad thing. But for him, it was also a matter worth celebrating because only when Crown Prince Crocodile died, he could stand up. Escape? Why should I escape? Yishiwen squinted his eyes and said with a smile. Now the old guys in your clan must hate me. But if I kill another genius, will they go crazy? Yishiwen looked at Crocodile's shadow with undisguised murderous intentions. Although he did not have much hatred with Crocodile's shadow, and it was thanks to Yishiwen that Crocodile's shadow could appear in front of everyone openly now, the two of them were in completely different positions. The relationship between the two sides was one of life and death. If Crocodile's shadow wanted to gain the recognition of the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan, to eliminate Crown Prince Crocodile's influence, and to prove that he was stronger than Crown Prince Crocodile, there was no faster way than to kill Yishiwen directly. For Yishiwen, it was very simple. There was only one reason. Whoever wanted to kill him, he would kill him. There were no other accidents, and it was not complicated at all. That was it. Ha ha ha, kill me? I appreciate your arrogance. Enjoy your last moments, Crocodile's shadow said with a laugh. He seemed to have Yishiwen in his grasp, even if Yishiwen had killed Crown Prince Crocodile, who was equally famous with him. There are many people who have said this to me, but they are all dead, said Yishiwen faintly. Everyone was silent. Looking at the two people in the field who were arguing, both sides had strong confidence. Each of these geniuses had confidence that ordinary people did not have. The invincible confidence brought by the invincible battle record was necessary to embark on the martial arts path. People without this confidence would have been eliminated long ago, let alone geniuses like them. If they did not have the confidence to suppress everything, they could not go this far at all. Listening to the confrontation between the two, it was even more hidden. Both sides seemed to have the other in their grasp, as if they could kill each other in the next confrontation. Among the two, one of them must be able to do it, but they had not really fought yet. Many people dared not make a rash decision now. Needless to say, Yishiwen's strength was now well known in the flourished Cloud Sea region. It was enough to explain everything. Since Crocodile's shadow was pushed out to replace Crown Prince Crocodile, he would not be inferior to Crown Prince Crocodile no matter how bad he was. He was another genius. When the two sides fought, even a moment of hesitation could determine the outcome. There were too many uncertainties. You are that Crocodile's shadow. What is there to be arrogant about? You are just a person who has been suppressed by Crown Prince Crocodile for so many years. Bai Hanmo suddenly interjected with disdain in his words. When Crocodile's shadow heard this, his face changed slightly. Then, he glanced at Baihanmo coldly. He didn't say anything, but said directly, "Live well. Pray that you don't meet me too early. Otherwise, this will be your death." Under the leadership of Crocodile's shadow, the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts evacuated one after another. The injured Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts were unconscious on the ground and taken away. Looking at the backs of Crocodile's shadow and the others leaving, Baihanmo sighed and said, "It's a pity. How can that guy be so calm? If he dares to attack, I will take the opportunity to kill him. In this case, Brother Yi will have one less enemy to win the championship." Yi Shiwen looked at Baihanmo with some amazement. He didn't expect Baihanmo to have such a plan. No wonder he suddenly intervened. Yi Shiwen was a little curious in his heart. What kind of trump card did Baihanmo have in his hand? He dared to guarantee that he could kill Crocodile's shadow. Although Yi Shiwen only roughly felt Crocodile's shadow's strength, he was confident that Crocodile's shadow would not be inferior to Crown Prince Crocodile. Such a person, even Yi Shiwen had a headache. Baihanmo actually had the confidence to kill Crocodile's shadow. Yi Shiwen absolutely did not believe that Baihanmo spoke arrogantly because he did not know Crocodile's shadow's strength. Since even Baihanmo could see that Crocodile's shadow would be a formidable enemy, Baihanmo obviously would not speak arrogantly because he made a mistake. He must be prepared. "If you kill him here, then those crocodiles will probably go crazy," said Yao Qian with a smile. She knew it best. Just like how the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan did not dare to make a move just now, if Yi Shiwen killed Crocodile's shadow here, then the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan experts would go crazy and take action immediately. If Crocodile's shadow died in the arena, then they had nothing to say. "Your sister Yao is right. Not to mention, Crocodile's shadow is not the only opponent this year. Even if you kill Crocodile's shadow, it won't make much difference." Yi Shiwen chuckled softly. "What's more, a man should defeat strong enemies one by one and climb to the top. That is the joy of life." Who was Yi Shiwen afraid of? It had never happened before. Even if it was a powerful enemy, he had never been afraid. Moreover, they were all experts of the younger generation. If he had to rely on tricks to win, then his path of martial arts would most likely be stagnant. "Brother Yi, you are right. It's just that Crocodile's shadow is not easy to deal with. Now everyone is saying that Brother Yi is a popular candidate. Those sea creature clans are too arrogant. Kill them and let them know what's good for them." Baihanmo quickly forgot what happened just now and said with a smile, "Let's go. This time, I will go all out." Chapter 1001. Dang! A bell rang out of nowhere and spread throughout the entire top 100 island. The powerful sound wave shattered the clouds in the sky in an instant. The scorching sun was like fire, and when it landed on the island, it was like balls of flames. The top 100 island, which was already relatively lively, suddenly boiled up. Everyone knew that with the ringing of this bell, the top 100 list competition would begin. All the young experts who wanted to participate could sign up and receive their own number tags. Then, they would decide who their opponent was based on their number tags. Apart from the original top 100 who could be seeded players, everyone else had to participate in battle after battle, all the way until they reached the top 100. Although Yi Shiwen had a crazy record of beheading Crown Prince Crocodile, he had to fight one battle at a time like everyone else because he was not on the list. In the center of the top 100 island, there was a huge square. The edge could not be seen from a distance. A vast number of people poured in from all directions. On the square, there were several arenas standing on the square. There were hundreds of them. Around the square, there were many stands that extended into the depths of the clouds. There were many layers of space, and it was unknown how many there were. There might be millions of spectators watching the battles. If it was just a normal space, it would be impossible to accommodate so many people at the same time. Those extending into the depths of the clouds were subspaces attached to the top 100 islands space. They were also spaces developed by the predecessors. However, not many people paid attention to the top 100 list competition at the beginning. Later, more and more people paid attention to it. The stands were constantly expanding. Of course, in the deepest part of the cloud platform, there were the positions of the powerful figures of the major forces. It was in the depths of the cloud platform that the eyes could not reach. Although the locations seemed to be similar, it was not in the same space at all. Yi Shiwen looked around and saw a sea of people. The experts of various clans had emerged in this crowd. Of course, the human race was the most numerous among them. The major clans of the sea race were too scattered. So, it seemed that the human race didn't have as many experts as the human race. However, despite the large number of people present, the entire scene appeared to be in an orderly manner. After all, no one knew how many times this event had been held. Thus, when the various major powers joined hands to hold this event, it was very smooth. Everything was done in an orderly manner. Wow, so many people! Bai Hanmo, who was next to Yi Shiwen, couldn't help but exclaim. It was not without reason that the top 100 list competition could become a grand event that the entire flourished Cloud Sea region paid attention to. With so many young experts, almost all the experts of the younger generation in the flourished Cloud Sea region were captured in one fell swoop. These were only the top experts of the younger generation. One could imagine that although the top 100 list was looked down upon by some experts, in reality, it was still very valuable. Although these 100 people might not be called the strongest 100 young experts in the flourished Cloud Sea region, they were almost there. Although there were fish that slipped through the net, they could still represent the top level. Young juniors! At this moment, an unknown voice spread throughout the entire plaza. Countless young martial artists quietened down. I'm very happy that all of you can participate in the top 100 rankings this time. Without a doubt, all of you are the cream of the crop among the younger generation. I won't say anything unnecessary. I'm sure all of you know what the honor of the top 100 rankings means. All the young warriors held their breath at once. Indeed, they knew very well what the honor of the top 100 list meant. Those who could participate in the top 100 list competition were already considered the best among the younger generation. The weakest among them was the Transcendent Realm 5th level, or above. There was no doubt that these were the best of the younger generation if they could enter the Transcendent Realm 5th level, or above within the age of 500. However, he was only one of the best. If he could enter the top 100 list, then the situation would be completely different. Every time the top 100 list was announced, it could spread throughout the flourished Cloud Sea region at once. In other words, each top 100 list could become famous all at once. For these young martial artists, there was no doubt that this was a huge attraction. I won't say much. Let's get started. With an understatement, the entire competition began. As soon as the voice fell, the name tags in the hands of many people flashed with a brilliant light, bringing them to different arenas. These arenas were specially reinforced and very sturdy. Although they seemed to be on this plaza, they were actually in a different space. It was impossible to walk in using the general method. This was also to prevent the people in the competition from affecting each other. The people in the stands could also choose to watch any competition at will. Yi Shiwen felt that a lot of eyes had fallen on him since the beginning of the competition. Although he wasn't a seeded player, but everyone was well aware of his strength. Not to mention being a seeded player in the top 100, even the top 10 wouldn't be a problem for him. Not only Yi Shiwen, but Bai Hanmo and Yao Qian next to him were also the focus of everyone's attention. Yao Qian was a seeded player in the top 100 in the previous tournament. Coupled with her beauty, she was the focus of countless people's attention. Although Bai Hanmo was not as famous as Yi Shiwen and Yao Qian, the news of him punching the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan's Transcendent Realm 8th level expert still spread in a small range. His fame began to gradually spread. Among the three, Yao Qian, who was a seeded player in the top 100, was the most relaxed. Before going through the previous selections, it was not her turn to fight. Yishiwen and Bai Hanmo could be summoned at any time. In the arena. Haha, it's time for me to show off my skills! Bai Hanmo soon received the notice of the competition, and the first round of the competition began soon. Yishiwen did not pay attention to Bai Hanmo's competition. In his opinion, it was not necessary at all. With the top 100 seeded players being selected, Bai Hanmo's strength was enough to sweep the invincible. If he was given another year or two to step into the Transcendent Realm 9th level, he could even compete with experts like the Poisonous Young Master, Flame Young Master. There was no need to worry at all. Sure enough, it didn't take long for Bai Hanmo to come out with a smile. How is it? Asked Yao Qian with concern. Are you hurt? Sister Yao, you should ask about my opponent. How did I get hurt? The opponent is not my opponent at all, said Bai Hanmo with dissatisfaction. Obviously, he was very dissatisfied with Yao Qian doubting his combat power. Not long after Bai Hanmo came out, Yishiwen also received the notice of the competition. Following the guidance of the nameplate, Yishiwen stepped directly into the arena. Yishiwen entered quickly. The opponent had not arrived yet. Yishiwen just closed his eyes slightly to rest. It didn't take long for the opponent to enter the arena. It was a C-clan expert. There was no doubt that he would be Yishiwen's opponent in the first round. The young C-clan expert didn't look at Yishiwen at all. He didn't even announce his name. He just said coldly, I'll give you a chance. Surrender now. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless. Insolent. Not only Yishiwen, but many spectators in the stands who were paying attention to Yishiwen's battle suddenly had such a feeling. The top 100 contestants were selected as seeded contestants. As a top expert who could behead Crown Prince Crocodile, Yishiwen's battle naturally attracted a lot of attention. Unless there were relatives and friends participating in the competition, most of those who knew Yishiwen were watching Yishiwen's battle. Who is this C-clan? How can he be so arrogant? Does he know who Yishiwen in front of him is? Who is this person? Insolent? Does he not know Yishiwen? This person is dead. Yishiwen can even behead Crown Prince Crocodile. This person is arrogant in front of him. He is asking for trouble. At this time, everyone was on Yishiwen's side. After all, no matter how strong the C-clan was, could he be stronger than Crown Prince Crocodile? Crown Prince Crocodile was not his opponent, let alone this C-clan expert. Seeing that Yishiwen did not respond, the C-clan expert suddenly became a little impatient. He instantly released his aura. It turned out to be a Transcendent Realm 8th level expert. Although he had just entered the 8th level, Transcendent Realm 8th level was still a Transcendent Realm 8th level expert. He was a genuine top expert. Only then did everyone understand why this young C-clan expert had such a condescending look. It turned out that he had such a strong foundation. Transcendent Realm 8th level. Even among this batch of geniuses, he could at least enter the top 30, or even the top 20. In everyone's cognition, the Poisonous Young Master and others were only Transcendent Realm 8th level peak. This unknown C-clan young man was actually an expert of the same level as them. If it were in previous sessions, he would at least be in the top 10. This was another dark horse who had never been on the top 100 list. If he had been on the top 100 list, everyone would have an impression of him. Moreover, he was a very strong dark horse. Unfortunately, he met Yishiwen. You are not bad. You can persist under my aura until now. Unfortunately, you met me. The young C-clan expert glanced at Yishiwen indifferently and said. A long sword appeared in his hand, emanating sword intent. Chapter 1002. Unfortunately, you met me? Many people wanted to laugh. Is it really a pity? Who should be the one feeling pity? Logically speaking, a Transcendent Realm 8th level expert should be invincible unless he encountered the Poisonous Young Master, Flame Young Master, Pei Xingchen, and others. Unfortunately, he encountered each other. It's a pity that he met me. This sentence is true, but it's not certain who should be the one feeling pity. Clang! The long sword in his hand suddenly bloomed with a dazzling light. The sword light was shocking, and it instantly rushed in front of Yishiwen. The long sword seemed to have penetrated the vast sky. In the next second, it was already in front of Yishiwen. It was impossible to guard against it. This sword could definitely be called a fast sword. However, no matter how fast it was impossible to be faster than Yishiwen. All of this was completely in Yishiwen's eyes. There were no secrets at all. He saw through it in an instant. Is that all? Yishiwen suddenly moved. His hand glowed with golden divine light. His big hand instantly reached out and directly grabbed the sword light that pounced on him. Boom! The young Sea Clan expert's sword light was crushed by Yishiwen in an instant. It was like a piece of paper. It was impossible to penetrate Yishiwen's golden divinity. Yishiwen blasted another punch. The young Sea Clan expert moved with his sword. His figure had just rushed over, but he did not expect Yishiwen to crush his sword light in an instant. He was caught off guard. Yishiwen's punch had already arrived. Boom! The young Sea Clan expert was directly blasted in the chest on the spot. His body flew out, and a mouthful of blood spurted all over the sky. With just this punch, he was severely injured. Yishiwen's fist force was enough to overturn rivers and seas. Such a strange force was like a star colossus in human form. It was imaginable how powerful it would be if it hit a person. If the opponent was not a Transcendent Realm 8th level expert, he would be killed directly with just this punch. This was under the condition that Yishiwen could restrain his strength. Before his breakthrough, he could already kill a Transcendent Realm 9th level expert, let alone now. All of this happened in a flash. The young Sea Clan expert who was still wielding his sword was defeated by Yishiwen's sword almost instantly. He simply had no power to fight back. Suddenly, the spectators who were paying attention to Yishiwen's battle were in an uproar. Many people couldn't see the confrontation between Yishiwen and the Transcendent Realm 8th level expert. This was because they were the weakest among them, and the cultivation of that sea race youth was completely above most of the spectators. But there were no absolutes in the world. There were always some veteran Transcendent Realm 9th level experts, or even half-step law manifestation realm experts paying attention to Yishiwen's battle. Everyone quickly learned what happened from their mouths. This is too outrageous. Although it is said that Yishiwen has the ability to kill Transcendent Realm 9th level experts, that is a Transcendent Realm 8th level expert. He can't even block one punch from him. How strong is he? It's a mistake that he didn't make it into the top 100 seeded contestants. With such strength, it won't be a problem for him to make it into the top 100. How can Yishiwen be so strong? The crowd was like a pot of boiling water, boiling with excitement. Although everyone was more optimistic about Yishiwen, for them, this should be an unusually fierce battle. They didn't expect the battle to be completely one-sided from the beginning. This Sea Clan youth was not Yishiwen's opponent at all. Those Sea Clan experts didn't look good at this time. In any case, the competition between the Sea Clan and the Human Clan was the general trend. After countless years of competition, there might not be a huge conflict in the flourished Cloud Sea region. However, it was undeniable that the filth between the Sea Clan and the Human Clan had always existed. The competition in the top 100 list focused on individual honor, but it was also an extension of the confrontation between the Sea Clan and the Human Clan. In the top 100 list, how many Human Clan experts were there? How many Sea Clan experts were there? How many in the top 50? How many in the top 10? How many in the final champion? Due to the sudden emergence of young Master Hailong, the experts of the Sea Clan were completely suppressed. This was something that many experts of the Sea Clan could not bear to see. It was just that they couldn't compete in person. At this time, it was rare to see a young Sea Clan expert. If it weren't for Yishiwen, then he was likely to break into the top 20, or even the top 10. But because of Yishiwen, he was eliminated in the first round. How could they feel good at this time? Yishiwen, Yishiwen, Yishiwen! Somewhere in the stands, the poisonous young master looked coldly at Yishiwen, who had just defeated the Sea Clan youth in one move. It had nothing to do with the glory of the Sea Clan. Even the internal struggle of the Sea Clan was no less than that of the Human Clan. It was even crueler than the struggle between the Sea Clan and the Human Clan. This was why the Human Clan could gain a foothold in the Endless Sea region despite being in a weak position. Although the human race was also complicated, it was much better than the Sea Folk. In any case, they were still part of the same race. On the other hand, although the Sea Folk claimed to be a whole race, they didn't see it that way. They were also divided into different races, and the competition between them was even greater than the competition with the humans. This was because the scope of the Human Clan's activities were on the islands and the surface of the water. They wouldn't go deep into the sea, and the fierce competition between the various sea clans was the main theme of everything. He just hated Yishiwen and wanted to tear him into pieces. At this time, he saw Yishiwen in the limelight. How could he be happy? However, because he was now a top 100 seeded player, he basically had nothing to do in these rounds. He could only watch and couldn't do anything to Yishiwen. What? Want to kill him? I don't think you have the strength to do so. Beside him, the flame young master mercilessly taunted, causing the poisonous young master to frown. The experts of the poisonous flaming dragon clan had long since become accustomed to such occurrences. It would be strange if they stopped fighting one day. Haha, well done! On another grandstand, Pei Xingqian saw that Yishiwen had defeated that sea race youth with a single punch, and immediately applauded again and again. That sea race boy is too arrogant. It's time to teach him a lesson. Is this the Yishiwen you were talking about? Beside him, a young man in a luxurious robe said. He was as gentle as jade and looked abnormally gentle, but his face looked a little pale and sickly. If someone was singing, they would recognize that this was the famous Sea Dragon young master of the Sea Dragon Mansion. Beside them, there were several young experts in groups of 3 to 5. They were also the top 100 young heroes in the top 100 list. Others wouldn't even have the opportunity to get close to them, let alone sit and discuss with them. Even so, they were all seeded players in the top 100 list. But when facing Sea Dragon young master and Pei Xingqian, they were more or less reserved. After all, their strength was too far from the two in front of them. In other words, they were not on the same level at all. Yes, it's him. I met him in the Chaos Demon Sea. Pei Xingqian nodded hurriedly and said, This time, your position as the champion is not so stable. You may be overthrown at any time. Just you alone? You're still lacking if you want to flip me over. Sea Dragon young master said with a chuckle. He didn't care about Pei Xingqian's slightly threatening words at all. This time, I have prepared a surprise for you. Moreover, it won't be just me. That brat Yishiwen will also give you a big surprise. Pei Xingqian looked at Yishiwen with bright eyes. He seemed to have more confidence in himself than in himself. It seems that the princess has also come out of close cultivation this time. You have a lot of competitors. In addition to the dead Crown Prince Crocodile, there are poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan's poisonous young master, Flaming Young Master, and sky-splitting whales Jing Wuhui. I heard that even the demonic Sea Beast Clan sent the siblings Boundless Sea and Wuyo. It's an unprecedented grand occasion. It's much more interesting than the previous few tournaments. These people are not only my opponents, but also yours. Young Master Hai Long was speechless as he looked at Pei Xingqian, who seemed to be secretly delighted. These people weren't just his opponents. For anyone who aspired to be the champion, these were strong enemies that had to be defeated. What do I have to worry about? I am not the champion. Even if I lose, so what? You are different. If you lose, TSK, it will be terrible, Pei Xingqian said with a gloating look. He didn't seem to care about these people at all. Perhaps he didn't even care about the top 100 list. For others, they had to compete with the younger generation experts among tens of thousands of people for these 100 seats. But for them, the real opponents were only a few people. The others were not a concern at all. There was no need to pay too much attention at all. Now, only a few people such as Yishiwen, Crocodile's Shadow, Boundless Sea, and the High siblings were added. There was still no need to pay attention to the others. Kid, you are too undisciplined. Otherwise, you might have surpassed me long ago, Sea Dragon young master said with a smile. I'm not diligent enough in my cultivation. I'm just short of spending all my time on cultivation. There are so many geniuses in the world, and I'm not the most outstanding one. It's enough for you to stand in front of me. Do you want to drag me down with you? Pei Xingchen curled his lips and said, Let's talk about Crocodile's Shadow. If it weren't for Crown Prince Crocodile's death, I would have thought he was dead. I didn't expect to see him again. Chapter 1003. Yishiwen naturally didn't know that he had become the topic of discussion among others. After successfully defeating the first opponent and obtaining his first victory, Yishiwen was teleported out of the arena by the nameplate. As soon as he was teleported out of the arena, he immediately met up with Bai Hanmo and others. Compared to Yishiwen's indifference to Bai Hanmo's battle, Bai Hanmo had been paying attention to Yishiwen's battle. Seeing Yishiwen easily won, Bai Hanmo laughed and said, Brother Yi, you did a great job. That Sea Clan kid is too arrogant. He should be taught a lesson. But then Yishiwen also learned another piece of news. In addition to him, Crocodile's Shadow of the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan and Boundless Sea and Hai Wuyo and the Sea Demon Clan also successfully passed the first round and became the focus of everyone. For many big shots, the entire first few rounds of selection were not worth watching at all. It was just child's play. It was nothing at all. But this time, it was different because there were several tyrannical experts who were not in the top 100 list. For example, Yishiwen, the mysterious human clan expert with unknown origins. There was also Crocodile's Shadow. Although he had the background of the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan, he was not in the top 100 list because he had been hidden for so many years. Hence, he had to choose to fight his way up from the bottom. There were also several young Sea Demon Clan experts led by Boundless Sea and Hai Wuyo, who participated in the competition for the first time. Although these were all characters who could enter the top 10, they were now hindered by the rules. Now, they had to keep fighting in these rounds and kill their way out. Their battle quickly attracted everyone's attention. Every news about them would become the focus of everyone's attention. Among these four people, there was no doubt that Yishiwen was the last to compete. Before this, Boundless Sea, Hai Wuyo, Xiao Mei, and Crocodile's Shadow had already passed the test. Their battle was also the same as Yishiwen's. It was completely clean and neat. Although the opponents were only 3 Transcendent Realm 5th level and 6th level warriors, they dealt with them very quickly. It was also somewhat impressive. Many people even made malicious guesses, hoping that the 4 of them would encounter each other and fight to the death. But no matter what, the first round ended quickly. All the matches were over. Some people were happy and some were sad. Some people passed the first round easily, some barely passed the first round, and most people didn't even pass the first round. It was really a feeling of the myriad of emotions in life. However, no one was in the mood to care about these things that seemed insignificant to them, even for those who won. Because very soon, the second round of the competition began. Almost without any pause, the second round of the competition began. In the second round, Yishiwen's opponent was a young Transcendent Realm 6th level human expert. However, when he saw Yishiwen, he immediately surrendered without hesitation. He had heard of Yishiwen's previous battle record. Transcendent Realm 8th level experts were not his opponent, and were easily defeated by Yishiwen. Naturally, he did not dare to stop Yishiwen. In fact, after the first round, Yishiwen, Crocodile's Shadow, Boundless Sea, Boundless Sea, Boundless Sea, and Boundless Sea immediately became the popular candidates to advance. They were basically untouchable opponents. If they encountered such an opponent, they could only blame it on their bad luck. In addition to him, there were a group of popular opponents such as Bai Hanmo. For Yishiwen, This competition system was similar to the qualifier knockout. It was not difficult for him at all. After the second round passed easily, he went through 3 more rounds in a row. Almost every round did not encounter any decent resistance. There was no pressure at all. In these 5 rounds of competition, Yishiwen, Crocodile's Shadow, and others quickly became the focus of everyone's attention. In particular, Yishiwen's and others' battle record became the focus of everyone's debate. From the start, no one could withstand a single move from them. Everything was just as everyone had imagined. In addition to Yishiwen and the other 3, there were several young top experts such as Bai Hanmo who suddenly emerged. They all possessed the strength of Transcendent Realm 8th level peak. This result made many people a little overjoyed, but for Yishiwen, he was a little disappointed. Although there were dark horses, none of them surprised him too much. There was no Transcendent Realm 9th level existence. Perhaps there were some, but they were still hiding their strength. This was also very possible. Yishiwen was hiding his strength. Perhaps in the eyes of others, his performance was dazzling enough, but he did not even exert 1/10 of his strength. Even the Transcendent Realm 8th level expert in the first round could not make him exert more strength. Unless he encountered an expert at the level of Crown Prince Crocodile, he would go all out. To him, this year's top 100 list was already messy enough. Since that was the case, there was no harm in making it even messier. On the contrary, being able to defeat these experts to ascend to the top was really the best thing he could do. Soon, the competition reached the 6th round. After the 6th round, the experts in the top 100 list, who were initially selected as seeded contestants, now joined the battle. This caused the battle to become even more intense. The battle was already very intense, but because of the participation of the top 100 seeded fighters, it became even more intense. In that case, wouldn't those who are already in the top 50 on the list have already entered the Transcendent Realm 8th level? According to the ranking of the previous tournament, Transcendent Realm 8th level could already be ranked in the top 10. But now, it seemed that they could barely enter the top 50. I'm afraid this tournament will be unprecedented. In the past, a Transcendent Realm 8th level could easily enter the top 10. Now I'm afraid that only Transcendent Realm 8th level can enter the top 50. Our flourished Cloud Sea region hasn't had a tournament comparable to this one in the past 10,000 years. Thinking of this, many people suddenly became excited. It was not wrong to recognize social creatures. Only in fierce competition could peerless geniuses be born. Whenever an unprecedented genius was born, there would always be one, or even a few, or even a group of equally outstanding geniuses shining. Only in the midst of fierce competition would a person's sense of competition become more and more intense. The stronger their forces, the stronger the flourished Cloud Sea region's strength. Yishiwen narrowed his eyes. He saw everything about Lu Xian in front of him. Although he was only at Transcendent Realm 6th level, everything about Lu Xian fell into his eyes. There were no secrets to speak of. Take this. The teenager shouted loudly, and his figure suddenly disappeared. Then, he instantly appeared behind Yishiwen, and his fist suddenly turned into a mountain, and directly blasted down. Chapter 1004. Take this! The young man yelled. His figure suddenly disappeared, and he appeared behind Yishiwen in an instant. His fist suddenly turned into a mountain, slamming down directly. Lu Xian's fist pressure was like a mountain, making everyone feel a heavy pressure in an instant. The Transcendent Realm's 7th level expert deserved his reputation. He was a level higher than Yishiwen's current realm. Of course, his combat prowess was naturally incomparable to Yishiwen. A fiery saber aura in Yishiwen's hand swept up instantly. He turned around and slashed behind him, slashing on the fist wind. Yishiwen's saber blade instantly broke through the fist wind and swept on Lu Xian's body. Boom! Lu Xian was blasted out on the spot and fainted. Yishiwen showed mercy and didn't kill him directly. Otherwise, Lu Xian's ending would be more miserable. Although it was expected, It still caused an uproar when they saw Lu Xian being blasted away by Yishiwen. Many people knew that Yishiwen was very strong, but Lu Xian was an expert from the previous top 100 list, and most people were not his match. But now, Lu Xian couldn't even withstand a single move from Yishiwen. Although Yishiwen had blasted away a Transcendent Realm 8th level expert in the first round, the Sea Clan expert was not on the top 100 list after all. There was still a gap between the two. After slashing Lu Xian away, Yishiwen also flew out along with the light on the nameplate. At this time, there were not many people in the entire venue. There were only 300 people left. Those who could stay were undoubtedly the elites among the elites. Except for Yishiwen and Lu Xian, who had a huge disparity in combat prowess, it was difficult for others to be blasted away with one saber strike like Yishiwen. Yishiwen was the first one to come out. After coming out, Yishiwen began to search for Yao Qian and Bai Hanmo's arena. Yao Qian's arena was not found yet, but Bai Hanmo's arena was found first. His opponent was a Sea Clan expert, also an expert in the top 100 list. It was the poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan's expert. Human, surrender. You are not my opponent. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless. The poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan expert's spiritual sense instantly locked on Bai Hanmo. His eyes were cold and ruthless. His aura erupted in an instant. He was also a Transcendent Realm 8th level expert. In the top 100 list, he was strong enough to enter the top 50. Compared to Yishiwen's opponent, he was much stronger. No wonder he was so confident. Many people paid attention to the battle between Bai Hanmo and this poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan expert. After these rounds of competition, Bai Hanmo stood out from the crowd and gained his own reputation. Although he was not as popular as Yishiwen, Crocodile Shadow, and the others, many people were paying attention to his battle. As for the other party, he was originally in the top 50 of the top 100 list. In the top 100 list, he was an absolutely tyrannical existence. The battle between the two of them quickly attracted the attention of countless people. Both sides are Transcendent Realm 8th level experts. I'm afraid this battle is going to be intense. Although Bai Hanmo seems to have reached Transcendent Realm 8th level peak, this poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan expert can sweep away those in the same realm. It should be an evenly matched battle. I don't think so. Bai Hanmo's momentum is so fierce. In the past few rounds, no matter how strong the opponent is, they can't withstand more than 5 moves from him. Some can't even withstand 1 move. But that's just ordinary people. How can this poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan expert be ordinary? Once the two sides fall into a protracted battle, I am more optimistic about the poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan expert. After all, the human physique is incomparable to the sub-dragon. Both sides had their own supporters, and it seemed like it was really an evenly matched match. Surrender? Hee with just you? Bai Hanmo sneered. In an instant, the long sword in his hand emitted a shocking sword intent. Clang! It pounced straight out. Under the illumination of the sword aura, the entire sky seemed to be dyed with the color of jade, turning into a world of jade. So fast! The poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan expert, who had just threatened Bai Hanmo, was horrified. He felt his scalp tingling. What kind of swordsmanship is this? How can it be so fast? Wherever the sword light went, the sky turned into a jade-like color. He only had time to raise his hand to resist. A long saber appeared in his hand. Dang! A loud sound of metal clashing spread out instantly. He only felt numb all over. A huge force passed through the long saber, almost paralyzing him. Can you dodge it? Bai Hanmo's second sword slashed out in the blink of an eye. The second sword quickly broke through the sky and attacked the poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan expert. What a fast sword! I don't know what kind of swordsmanship this is. It has such terrifying power. Once the sword is unleashed, the world turns into jade. Someone exclaimed. It was not only because Bai Hanmo's swordsmanship was extremely fast, but also because the opponent's poisonous Flaming Dragon Clan expert was clumsy under his sword. Bai Hanmo's sword was fast. Many people had no way to judge how fast and powerful it was. However, the poisonous flaming dragon clan expert on the opposite side had a deep understanding after seeing the transcendent realm 8th level poisonous flaming dragon clan expert's miserable appearance. Because the poisonous flaming dragon clan had the dragon clan bloodline, even in the same realm, they were much more powerful than the average sea clan. Hence, they could often sweep across the same realm. Now, the poisonous flaming dragon clan expert was in such a sorry state under Bai Hanmo's sword. How could everyone not be surprised? The sword blasted on the poisonous flaming dragon clan's long saber again. But at this time, his arm was a little numb. Another terrifying collision caused his long saber to be blasted away. Clang! After the long saber spun several times in the sky, it was directly inserted into the gap of the stone on the arena. Clang! Almost at the same time, Bai Hanmo's third sword had arrived. His swordsmanship seemed to have no other subtleties except for the fast sword speed. In other words, Bai Hanmo's fast sword speed was enough to defeat the poisonous flaming dragon clan expert. Boom! The poisonous flaming dragon clan expert was directly blasted out. Blood spurted wildly. A huge wound on his body was dripping with blood. It was a ghastly sight. 3 swords, just 3 swords. This match, which was regarded as an unusually evenly matched battle, ended with Bai Hanmo's victory. However, these were all within Yishiwen's expectations. The poisonous flaming dragon clan possessed the dragon bloodline and was a lesser dragon. It was difficult to find an opponent in the same rank, but that was only for ordinary people. But was Bai Hanmo an ordinary person? Whether it was the bloodline or martial technique, he was far beyond the imagination of ordinary people. In the same realm, he could compete with Crown Prince Crocodile and others. Not to mention, the poisonous flaming dragon clan expert had just entered the transcendent realm 8th level. He was still far from Bai Hanmo's transcendent realm 8th level peak. Unless Bai Hanmo encountered the poisonous young master or the flaming young master, the average person would not be Bai Hanmo's opponent. There was nothing to worry about. On the contrary, although Yao Qian had also entered the transcendent realm 8th level, most of the top 50 in the top 100 list had already entered the transcendent realm 8th level. Her advantage was not obvious. Instead, she needed some luck to go further. But just as Yishiwen was about to continue searching for Yao Qian's arena, a cold voice came from behind him. Yishiwen, you'd better live well. Don't lose to others. Otherwise, it will be a pity. Yishiwen didn't need to turn his head to recognize the voice. It was none other than the poisonous young master. He turned his head and saw that this person was indeed the poisonous young master. The poisonous young master stared at Yishiwen coldly. In his pair of cold eyes, the green poisonous aura was looming. He had practiced the poison technique to the extreme. He had practiced every cell in his body. He could be called a master in using poison. It could be said that anyone would have to be careful of such an opponent, and he was also the one that everyone feared the most. It was evident that he had practiced unorthodox poison techniques to an upright level. However, Yishiwen was not afraid of him at all. No matter how strong the poisonous young master's poison technique was, he could not hurt Yishiwen at all. Yishiwen had divinity to protect his body. He could completely ignore the poisonous young master's poison technique. Hence, the poisonous young master was a formidable opponent for anyone. When facing Yishiwen, Yishiwen defeated him like a stray dog. "What's there to regret? Do you think you're my opponent?" said Yishiwen with a sneer. The poisonous young master's expression suddenly changed. He seemed to recall the 2 times he was defeated by Yishiwen. The first time was due to his carelessness. He suffered a loss in Yishiwen's hands. However, the second time, he was fully prepared. He even joined forces with several Transcendent Realm 9th level experts to besiege Yishiwen. However, he was not Yishiwen's opponent at all. Yishiwen broke through the encirclement and beheaded the Transcendent Realm 9th level experts. He was chased by Yishiwen like a stray dog. Thinking of this, the muscles on his face twitched even more. His gaze towards Yishiwen became even colder. Just you wait. You'd better pray that you don't meet me. Otherwise, I will make you suffer a fate worse than death. The poisonous young master calmed his mood and said coldly. He had never resented someone so much. Never. No one could make him suffer such a huge loss. He almost had no strength to fight back. This feeling was suffocating. Chapter 1005. This feeling was really suffocating. Even his old opponent since childhood, the Inferno young master, had never felt suffocated because the two sides were only evenly matched. There were wins and losses. It was impossible for the Inferno young master to feel suffocated. But when facing Yishiwen, it made him feel unusually suffocated. Because when he faced Yishiwen, he couldn't win. This was the biggest problem. If he had won, then it would have been fine. However, it wasn't as simple as not winning. Even he himself could see that his poison technique was completely restrained by Yishiwen. This was the most depressing thing for him. It was also the fundamental reason why he tirelessly wanted to kill Yishiwen. In addition to Yishiwen, other people who were qualified to be his opponents were somewhat afraid of him. Because of his poison technique, he had even become one of the most dangerous people among them. However, in front of Yishiwen, it was not like that at all. His poison technique didn't seem to have a big effect on Yishiwen. It could be said that he was completely restrained. He even had a kind of fear that he wouldn't have any chance of winning against Yishiwen in that situation. This feeling made him feel like he was sitting on pins and needles. It made him feel like he might suffocate at any moment. This was like the feeling when a person met another person who could strangle him to death at any time. That kind of fear that came from the heart could not be suppressed. The only way was to strangle this person in the cradle and completely extinguish this evil danger. Only then would it be possible to alleviate this kind of fear that came from the heart. After glancing at Yishiwen with hatred, the poisonous young master left. As long as they remained undefeated, sooner or later, they would meet in the competition. At that time, he would never let Yishiwen go. Big brother Yi, haha, I won. I can enter this top 100 list if I win another game. Ha ha ha, it's too easy. Bai Hanmo's figure appeared in the air. When he saw Yishiwen, he was surprised. He was in a good mood after defeating his opponent. Sister Yao hasn't come out yet? Did she encounter any trouble? When the two found the arena where Yao Qian was, they discovered that Yao Qian was indeed in trouble. Her opponent this time was not weaker than Bai Hanmo's opponent. He was also a Transcendent Realm 8th level expert. He was not much worse than Yao Qian. The experts who could enter the Transcendent Realm 8th level at this age were all peerless geniuses. It could even be said that each of them was a dragon among men. Except for a freak like Yishiwen, it was impossible to challenge someone in a higher realm. Facing this expert, Yao Qian was basically in a tough battle. A tough battle. It could only be described as a tough battle. Yao Qian's opponent was also tenacious. After fighting for more than 1,000 moves, Yao Qian was defeated. Is she Yao Qian? Yishiwen suddenly discovered something. Although Yao Qian's battle seemed to be very hard and arduous, Yao Qian was actually doing it with ease. Even her clothes were not very messy. Although it was not as easy as Yishiwen and Bai Hanmo, she definitely did not use her full strength. Yishiwen suddenly discovered a point. Although Yao Qian's battle seemed to be very hard, Yao Qian was actually at ease. Even her clothes were not messed up. Although it was not as easy as Yishiwen and Bai Hanmo, Yao Qian did not use her full strength. Although it was unfair to those who finished late, it was the greatest fairness. Only those who defeated their opponents earlier could have more time to rest. In other words, only the strong could make it to the end. This was also a very cruel rule. Compared to the 6th round, the 7th round was equally uneventful. There were no surprises. Yishiwen still defeated his opponent in one move, and Bai Hanmo did not spend much effort. Yao Qian's luck was also better this time. She only encountered a Transcendent Realm 7th level warrior. She easily defeated this opponent. The three of them easily entered the top 100. Among them, Yi Shiwen had undoubtedly become the focus of everyone's attention because there weren't many warriors left. In fact, there weren't even 100 people left. Among them were Yi Shiwen, Jian Wushuang, the poisonous young master, the flame young master, the two siblings from the Sea Demon clan, Crocodile Shadow, Pei Xingchen, Sea Dragon young master, and the last of the three overlords of the human race, the disciple princess of Light Cave. These were all warriors who had the potential to win. They attracted everyone's attention and shone brightly. Although the results of the competition had yet to be announced, the few of them were almost certain to be among the top 10 experts of this year's ranking list. The only difference was their rankings. Compared to the people who had already been famous for many years, Yi Shiwen, who had just become famous, immediately became the most concerned person among them. Other people had become famous sooner or later. Many people knew their strength, but only Yi Shiwen seemed to be shrouded in a cloud of fog. Not many people really knew what kind of strength he had in the end. Not only the spectators on the high platform, but even several other top geniuses were also secretly observing Yi Shiwen. It was a pity that the opponents were too weak, or Yi Shiwen was too strong. Yi Shiwen only used a simple move all the way until now. No one could resist his simple move. Any enemy in front of him was destroyed. His moves had reached the point of simplifying the complicated and turning the rotten into the magical. One move was enough to defeat all enemies. No one could force him to use a second move. This made many people who wanted to find out Yi Shiwen's actual strength quite depressed. This Yi Shiwen has such strong combat power. Among those who stayed, his realm is the lowest, but in terms of combat power, he is terrifyingly powerful. Even the Transcendent Realm 8th level expert is not his opponent. They can't even resist one move. Above the grandstand, in the depths of the cloud platform, in that space, the top leaders of the major forces in the Flourish Cloud Sea region gathered. They all cast their eyes in Yi Shiwen's direction. He was too mysterious. Such a person's combat power should never be judged by his realm. However, it was precisely because of this that his combat power was even more difficult to speculate. In particular, the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile Clan's law manifestation experts looked at Yi Shiwen with an ugly expression. For them, Yi Shiwen was the greatest shame in their hearts. The fall of Crown Prince Crocodile was an indescribable pain in their hearts. When did their Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan suffer such a big loss? But because of Origin returning sect, they had no way to get back at Yi Shiwen after suffering a loss. Of course, it would be best if Crocodile's shadow could kill Yi Shiwen in this top 100 competition. Young Master Sea Dragon's strength is getting stronger. It may not be a problem to win the championship this time. This time, only our poisonous Flaming Dragon clan can win the championship. Among the top 10, we occupy at least 2 spots. Let's continue to watch. This year's competition is really unprecedented. Among these 10 seeds, any one of them can win the championship in the previous years. Now that they are all gathered together, our Flourished Cloud Sea region will usher in a new era. Era? Only the heavens know that without the trial of the Blood World, these people are nothing. After the trial of the Blood World, only those who survive will be able to dominate their peers. In the depths of the cloud platform, the top leaders of the major forces had different opinions. They were calm about the performance of these young experts. It seemed that it did not attract their attention at all. Many of them had come this way. The younger generation experts who had not reached the law manifestation realm were nothing in their eyes. Perhaps one day in the future, it would be their turn to dominate everything in the Flourished Cloud Sea region. But at least, it was not now. In front of them, these experts of the younger generation could only be considered as immature. Under this general trend, the competition between the Sea Clan and the Human Clan had become the main theme. In the subsequent 8th round of battles, Yi Shiwen still defeated his opponent easily. This time, his opponent was an expert who was about to reach the Transcendent Realm 8th level peak. Although he was not as good as Bai Hanmo, he was not bad. However, in front of Yi Shiwen, he was still vulnerable. He was not an opponent at all. Bai Hanmo's opponent was also a transcendent realm 8th level peak expert, but he was just average. He was not comparable to Bai Hanmo. This time, Bai Hanmo defeated his opponent after more than 50 moves. But even so, Bai Hanmo's performance was still very eye-catching. Many people even regarded him as the strongest expert below the top 10 experts. Even if he was not, he was almost there. With this strength, as long as his luck was not too bad, it was not difficult to enter the top 20. On the other side, Yao Qian's situation was not so optimistic. Compared to the previous few rounds, she still hid her strength. This time, she really went all out. The battle was very difficult. She had fought for more than 1,000 moves, but her opponent still did not show any signs of losing. It was not until Yao Qian seized a loophole of her opponent and attacked. She barely defeated her opponent and advanced to the top 50. Yi Shiwen frowned. According to this trend, Yao Qian might not be able to make it to the next round to enter the top 20. But even so, Yao Qian's performance was already amazing. In the previous tournament, Yao Qian just barely entered the top 50. Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce was overjoyed with her progress this time. In the flourished Cloud Sea region, the Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce was not a strong force. Not to mention comparing with the overlords, it barely ranked in the first class. Yao Qian's ranking had already surprised the Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce. Even if she was eliminated in the next round, there was nothing to regret. Chapter 1006. Different forces naturally had lower requirements for their disciples. For a behemoth and overlord like the Vanishing Shadow Poisonous Crocodile clan, it would be a shame if they couldn't enter the top 10. It was better not to participate. But for Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce, which only had one generation of inheritance so far, this was already a remarkable thing. The rise of any force required time to settle. Perhaps in the future, the Sunny Bamboo Chamber of Commerce would become an existence that no one could ignore. But now, what they needed was just this. Yao Qian had nothing to be dissatisfied with. Those who could reach this stage not only needed strength but also enough luck. For example, the Transcendent Realm 8th level expert who was eliminated by Yi Shiwen in the first round lacked such luck. But that was only for those who did not have enough strength. For Yi Shiwen, was luck important? Did it matter who he met in each round? For others, those few were undoubtedly the most dangerous existences in hell. However, for him, there was no difference, because these people were all opponents that he had to defeat. Even if he had to defeat them one by one in the following matches, it wouldn't matter to him. The competition didn't stop for even a moment, and entered the 9th round. Basically, after the first round was over, it would enter the second round. At this point, those who could remain were no ordinary warriors. Without a doubt, those who remained were the top experts of the younger generation. They might be the best among the millions of martial artists in the flourished Cloud Sea region, or even more. The 9th round was very important for many people because passing the 9th round meant entering the top 20. Those who could enter the 10th round were qualified to enter the top 10 of the top 100 list. This was a very fierce and cruel competition. Since they had already come this far, no one wanted to be eliminated here. However, they didn't have much time to think about it. Not long after the 8th round of competition ended, they had to anxiously enter the 9th round of competition. As many of them had not recovered from their previous injuries, it was undoubtedly a bit difficult for them to compete at this time. It was Yao Qian who benefited from this. Her opponent had been seriously injured in the previous battle, so the other party simply surrendered. Although his strength was stronger than Yao Qian, fighting with Yao Qian in a seriously injured state was undoubtedly a suicidal behavior. After all, not everyone had an abnormal recovery power like Yi Shiwen. For many people, continuing to fight was indeed a very strenuous thing. But at this time, Yi Shiwen did not have time to care about Yao Qian's affairs. He stepped directly into the arena, but he did not expect that his opponent here was actually Si Konghao. "Brother Yi, I didn't expect that my opponent this time is actually you." Si Konghao said with a bitter smile when he saw the opponent was actually Yi Shiwen. Brother Si, I didn't expect that I would meet you in this round, Yi Shiwen said with a smile. However, in fact, he wouldn't be surprised if he met anyone in this round since there were only more than 30 people left. In fact, it would be considered a very normal thing to meet anyone in this round. But even though I met you, I will never admit defeat so easily. Come on, let me see how much progress you have made during this round. However, even though I've met you, I definitely won't admit defeat so easily. Come, let me see how much you've improved during this period of time. Although he was not the top 10 candidates ranked by everyone, in terms of strength, no one could deny that he was also unique outside of the top 10. Even in the eyes of many people, he also had the strength to compete with the top 10. After all, he was also a top 10 expert in the previous tournament, wasn't he? Even in the eyes of many people, he also had the strength to compete with the top 10 experts. After all, he was also a top 10 expert in the previous tournament, wasn't he? If it weren't for the emergence of too many strong experts in this tournament, such as Yi Shiwen, the demonic sea siblings, and a few others, he would have continued to be a top 10 expert without any accident. If you didn't make any progress after coming out of the sealed land, you won't be my opponent today. Si Konghao's gaze began to turn cold. At this point, no one didn't want to continue. With his strength, he even dared to covet the championship, let alone Yi Shiwen. The aura on his body began to sweep out little by little, making everyone feel a little suffocated. Transcendent Realm 7th level. Transcendent Realm 8th level. Transcendent Realm 8th level peak. Transcendent Realm 9th level. Boom! The strength displayed by Si Konghao suddenly made all the warriors who were paying attention to this battle excited. Transcendent Realm 9th level. It was really the strength of Transcendent Realm 9th level. Many people had long guessed that even the top 50 experts had entered the Transcendent Realm 8th level. Then, would the top 30, top 20, and even the top 10 experts on the original list only be Transcendent Realm 8th level? Would it be as the outsiders guessed? Many people even speculated that many of them had already entered the Transcendent Realm 9th level. But guesses were just guesses. So far, no one had shown the strength exceeding Transcendent Realm 8th level peak. They were still the same strength as rumored. Even if they only had the strength of Transcendent Realm 8th level, it was enough to help them sweep away all opponents. Even if they encountered the same Transcendent Realm 8th level peak, they would not be these people's opponents. In front of these people, it seemed that Transcendent Realm 8th level and Transcendent Realm 7th level were paper tigers. They were easily defeated without any difference. Therefore, the guesses of these younger generation experts were just guesses. There was no substantial evidence. In other words, their current opponents were not worthy of exposing their strength exceeding Transcendent Realm 8th level. There was no doubt that Si Konghao would be the first expert to expose his Transcendent Realm 9th level strength. As a result, everyone finally confirmed the thoughts in their hearts. The top geniuses of the younger generation had indeed entered the Transcendent Realm 9th level. They were already the top experts in the flourished Cloud Sea region. In this era where law manifestation experts and even half-step law manifestation experts did not appear easily, they were enough to represent the top forces of the entire flourished Cloud Sea region. How shocking was this? They were only a few years old. The oldest among them was less than 500 years old. In their long lives, they might still have thousands of years or even tens of thousands of years to live. They would dominate the entire flourished Cloud Sea region in such a long time. This made many veteran Transcendent Realm experts feel that perhaps they were really old. Even those law manifestation experts who didn't put the younger generation experts in their eyes suddenly realized that the younger generation experts were rising too quickly. Perhaps it wouldn't take long. In a few hundred years, or even 1,000 years, they would be able to enter the law manifestation realm. It might even take a shorter time. Sure enough, someone has entered the Transcendent Realm 9th level. Even Si Konghao has entered the Transcendent Realm 9th level. Then, I'm afraid the others have already entered it. Without any solid evidence, Si Konghao could easily guess how strong these geniuses had become in the past few years. At the same time, they became more excited. Initially, everyone was optimistic about Yi Shiwen. After all, Yi Shiwen was the one who slaughtered Crown Prince Crocodile. Compared with his brilliant battle record, the battle record of slaughtering Crown Prince Crocodile alone was enough to offset all of Si Konghao's past glory. No matter how powerful Si Konghao was, could he slaughter Crown Prince Crocodile? That was obviously impossible. But Yi Shiwen did it. But the current situation was the complete opposite. Si Konghao, who had entered the Transcendent Realm 9th level, must have a completely different transformation. Many older experts understood that Transcendent Realm 8th level and Transcendent Realm 9th level were not the same concept at all. From a cultivation perspective, Transcendent Realm 9th level was already the Transcendent Realm Complete Realm. The power that could be exerted was far beyond the imagination of Transcendent Realm 8th level warriors. This was why the top geniuses caused such a sensation after they defeated or killed Transcendent Realm 9th level experts. This in itself represented an anomaly. Si Konghao at Transcendent Realm 9th level and Yi Shiwen at Transcendent Realm 8th level were not the same concept. So, even if Si Konghao knew that Yi Shiwen had a record of slaughtering Crown Prince Crocodile, he was still full of confidence because he had entered the Transcendent Realm 9th level. Crown Prince Crocodile had not yet entered the Transcendent Realm 9th level when he was slaughtered. Everyone knew the difference. If you hadn't made any progress after coming out of the seal, you wouldn't have been a match for me today. Yi Shiwen didn't answer because he knew that Si Konghao was right. If he came out of the sealed site without making any progress, he had no chance of winning against Si Konghao, who had entered the Transcendent Realm 9th level. Even if Yi Shiwen could kill ordinary Transcendent Realm 9th level experts at that time, would a genius like Si Konghao, who entered the Transcendent Realm 9th level, be an ordinary Transcendent Realm 9th level expert? He directly entered the Transcendent Realm 9th level peak. However, he was not the same as when he first entered the sealed site. I also want to see how much stronger you have become after coming out of the sealed site. If you can't shock the world, your path today will come to an end, Yi Shiwen said slowly with a firm expression. No one could doubt what he said. Chapter 1007. It seemed that this was an evenly matched battle. In fact, Si Konghao had a higher chance of winning. After all, one was at the Transcendent Realm 9th level peak, while the other was only at the Transcendent Realm 6th level. The gap between them was huge. Yi Shiwen could indeed challenge across realms and even kill the Crown Prince Crocodile. However, facing Si Konghao, who was at the Transcendent Realm 9th level peak, could he really do anything? No one knew. It was precisely because of this that it could attract the attention of countless people. This was the duel between Yi Shiwen, the recognized top 10 expert, and Si Konghao, the first powerful opponent to show the strength of the Transcendent Realm 9th level. Swish! Si Konghao took a step forward. A violent aura swept out instantly, setting off stormy waves. A folding fan like black jade appeared in his hand. The folding fan suddenly unfolded, and innumerable terrifying key blades swept out in an instant. They swept out in a mighty manner like monstrous waves, and swept towards Yi Shiwen with surging and vast power. Si Konghao didn't hold back and directly used his full strength. Perhaps others would think that he had a higher chance of winning as a Transcendent Realm 9th level, but only he knew how terrifying Yi Shiwen was. Before leaving the sealed site, Yi Shiwen was already able to kill the Transcendent Realm 9th level expert alone. How could he not improve at all? Even he didn't believe it. In any case, this was an opponent that must be fought with all his strength. Under Si Konghao's attack, everyone only felt that the world had changed. Yi Shiwen was like a small boat in the ocean, capsized by the endless gale at any time. Facing Si Konghao's attack, Yi Shiwen made a move. Even his expression didn't change. His hands bloomed with dazzling golden light, as if an unseen treasure had appeared. He suddenly tore at the sky full of wind blades. Swish! In an instant, the sky full of wind blades were torn into countless cyclones on the spot. They couldn't approach Yishiwen's body at all. This is... what a strong physical body! Many experts who were paying attention to this battle were shocked. They were veteran Transcendent Realm experts. Among them, there were many Transcendent Realm 9th level experts. There were even half-step law phase experts. Some of these experts also had keen eyesight. They immediately saw that Yishiwen's body was somewhat ridiculously strong since he was able to withstand the wind blade with his bare hands. Seikunghao's battle was not going to be easy. Facing an opponent like a turtle shell, no matter how strong Seikonghao was, he didn't know where to start. Seikonghao didn't panic. It seemed as if he had already expected such an attack to be nothing to Yishiwen. He took a step forward and pounced in front of Yishiwen. The black jade folding fan in his hand suddenly opened. The violent airflow was driven by the fan and converged into a torrent. This power was akin to a long spear. It pierced through the vast sky in an instant and bombarded towards Yishiwen's face. Compared to the sky full of wind blades just now, this move was much more threatening. Just now, Yishiwen used the technique of breaking through with a single point and easily nullified Seikonghao's attack. This made Seikonghao understand that his group-killing move was completely vulnerable in front of Yishiwen. Thus, he immediately turned his attack into a single killing move. This crazily rotating airflow instantly blasted in front of Yishiwen. As it continued to rotate, the surrounding air was also attracted, making this airflow bigger and bigger, and its power became more and more terrifying. All of this took a long time to describe, but it was actually just an instant. Yishiwen didn't hesitate at all. He spread his hands, and suddenly a shield condensed from divinity was condensed in the sky. Dang! The long spear-like airflows suddenly blasted on the golden shield. The loud collision sound was like a big bell, instantly spreading out. The powerful airflow instantly collapsed and annihilated the endless air. The space also trembled wildly, directly blasting the air. Boom! The airflow's spear didn't stop because it was blocked. On the contrary, under the control of Seikonghao, it swept up even more crazily. The terrifying force made Yishiwen retreat a few steps in the sky before he regained his balance. Yishiwen had such strength. Although it was somewhat because Yishiwen was caught unprepared and attacked without any preparation, it was undeniable that the power of this airflow was simply endless. Boom! When the endless airflow couldn't penetrate Yishiwen's divinity shield wall, it suddenly exploded with a loud bang. It was like the eruption of a mountain torrent. The terrifying power swept out, and the world seemed to be covered in an instant. Not good, Seikonghao is planning to suppress Yishiwen with his tyrannical cultivation. He wants to completely crush Yishiwen with his tyrannical realm cultivation. At this time, someone recognized Seikonghao's strategy. It was the simplest way to suppress others with his strength. His cultivation was much higher than Yishiwen's. It was easy for him to suppress others with his strength. What was an advantage? It was the advantage of the realm. Seikonghao made full use of his advantage in the realm. He was close to perfection in the transcendent realm. Yishiwen, who had yet to enter the transcendent late realm, could not be compared to him. They asked themselves. If they were in Seikonghao's shoes, they would have been crushed long ago. Not to mention that Yishiwen was a few realms lower than him. Even if they were in the same realm, it would be extremely difficult for them to withstand this kind of pure strength. Because of this, they knew how terrifying Seikonghao was. In his hands, his combat skills had already reached the pinnacle, and he could be called a master. Trying to suppress others with strength? Crush me? Unfortunately, you've found the wrong person. Amidst the chaos, a cold voice came out. Amidst the chaos, a destructive saber aura suddenly leaped out. It expanded with the wind, and the blazing flames swept in all directions. Anything that came into contact with the flames would be burned into nothingness. In an instant, the fiery saber aura was already 100 feet long, and it was crushing towards Seikonghao. A light flashed in Seikonghao's eyes, and he was slightly shocked. He used the great advantage of his realm to suppress Yishuan, and yet he still failed. Yishuan's strength was too strong. What he didn't know was that Yishuan liked to walk the path of suppressing others with his strength. His early martial arts were also extremely domineering. Coupled with the tyrant body scripture, it was even more so. His moves were big, and he had already reached the pinnacle. It was impossible for Yishuan to suppress him with this. What kind of martial arts did he practice? How could it be so powerful? However, there was no time for him to think too much. He let out a loud shout, and the real elemental energy in his body burst out, and all his strength violently swept out. He directly swept out a column of storm from the folding fan, and instantly swept towards the saber aura. Boom! All of a sudden, the saber chi and the storm collided fiercely in midair. A terrifying airflow mixed with countless flames swept out in all directions. Yishuan's fiery saber aura quickly melted by more than half, but the remaining part did not lose its momentum, and directly chopped towards Si Konghao. Behind Si Konghao, a pair of gasified wings directly spread out, and suddenly flapped. His wings instantly swept out an unimaginable airflow, and his body suddenly disappeared, and was taken away by the gasified wings. Boom! Yishuan's saber aura directly blasted a big hole in the arena, but it did not cut Si Konghao. So fast! Many people were dazzled for a moment, and when they came back to their senses, this round of confrontation was already over. Although Si Konghao did not gain the upper hand, he did not hurt Yishuan either. In general, it was not bad. This was also the first time for many people to see Si Konghao's speed. It was unexpectedly so fast, and Yishuan's saber was already extremely fast. It could be said to be fast and ruthless. But he was able to dodge it, which showed how fast this speed was. His research on the law of wind attribute has reached the point of being unparalleled among the younger generation. In terms of speed, I am afraid there are not many in the younger generation who can surpass him. With this speed, even if he encountered the top 10, he would at least be able to protect himself. He is indeed worthy of being in the top 10 of the previous tournament. He really has the foundation that ordinary people do not have. How can the real terrifying one be Si Konghao? The real terrifying one should be Yishuan. Si Konghao's strength is well deserved. Even many veteran 9th level peak experts are not his opponent. Even so, when facing Yishuan, he did not gain the upper hand at all. It is imaginable how terrifying Yishuan is. Although the two were only at the beginning of the fight, and they had not yet used all their trump cards to the point of tragedy, everyone could already see some clues. Either of these two people was likely to be in the top 10, but they met each other at this time. It was a pity that they met each other. Most importantly, even if one of them could win, it would be a Pyrrhic victory. In the end, it would be useless even if one could enter the top 10. Even if one could enter the top 10, when facing other strong experts, even if there was only a slight injury, it might develop into an insurmountable gap in the end. This was the case with the slightest error and the difference of 1,000 miles. No wonder the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan always suffers in Yishuan's hands. It is not without reason. Many people secretly sighed. The vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan experts in the stands also looked at Yishuan at this time. For them, the better Yishuan's performance was, the more incompetent they were, and the more shameful it was. Yishuan in the field moved at this time. He took a step forward and continued to chase Si Konghao, who dodged the saber quickly. Chapter 1008. Si Konghao's speed was extremely fast, especially after unfolding the pair of wind wings. His speed was suddenly raised to the limit. In this arena, all the wind and all the air would not be an obstacle to him. They would follow him, making his speed to the extreme. He breathed a sigh of relief. Although Yishuan's physical body was unparalleled, and his strength was even more terrifying, he also had unparalleled speed. In the world of martial arts, only speed was unbeatable. He firmly believed in this truth. Hence, he began to study the law of wind attribute a long time ago. Until now, his speed could be said to be unrivaled among the younger generation. Even those young experts in front of him might not be able to catch up with him in terms of speed. This was also his trump card. It was also the reason why he dared to snatch the demonic saber from Crown Prince Crocodile. Although he might not be Crown Prince Crocodile's opponent, Crown Prince Crocodile could not do anything to him. On the contrary, Crown Prince Crocodile would be harassed by him all the time. Just as he wanted to counterattack Yishiwen with a backhand, he saw Yishiwen's figure almost turning into a golden light. Yishiwen caught up with him in one step. He was shocked. Yishiwen's speed was not slow at all. This speed was completely out of his expectations. How is it possible? How can his speed be so fast? His heart was in turmoil. The path of martial arts had countless forks in the road. It could be said that there were 3,000 great Daos, and every one of them could prove the Tao. However, it was precisely because there were too many ways to prove the Tao that no one could cultivate all martial arts to the extreme. Especially when they had cultivated to this level, there was no such thing as an all-rounder. Everyone had to choose one aspect to break through. There were no exceptions. Even if some people were heaven-sent geniuses who seemed to be very strong in all aspects and had no shortcomings, even so, it was impossible for them to be all equal. There must be one aspect that far surpassed the others. Because the lifespan of a warrior was limited, and the paths were too vast. Even if an ordinary person studied any of the paths, he might not be able to reach the peak in his lifetime, let alone advancing all the paths simultaneously. This was simply impossible. This was determined by a person's lifespan. Moreover, these young warriors were able to walk a path that others might not be able to walk for thousands of years in just a few hundred years and advance by leaps and bounds. Naturally, they chose to specialize. Only when they entered the transcendence realm would they consider comprehending by analogy, and their other comprehensions would naturally increase. This was also the path of most people. However, he didn't know that Yishiwen had the mysterious space and the enlightening mind ancient tree. These two cheat-like existences made his enlightenment as simple as eating and drinking water. In particular, that mysterious space was more like a large computer. It could analyze everything in detail and present it in front of Yishiwen. Therefore, in the eyes of others, it was impossible to go hand in hand. However, in Yishiwen's eyes, it was not a big deal. As long as there was enough spiritual energy, it was not a problem for him to go hand in hand. Even if he went hand in hand, it was much faster than ordinary people who specialized. This advantage would be reflected more and more over time as his cultivation got higher and higher. Because in the end of martial arts, if there was still only specialization, then it was easy to walk into a dead end. He also needed to comprehend by analogy. It was just like building a house. Not only did it require a certain design, but it also required proficiency in civil and wood materials, mechanics, interior design, and other aspects to complete. The same was true for the cultivation of martial arts. Just like the legendary demon king that Yemo told him about. Although he was not good at alchemy, whatever he refined would be an amazing elixir. It was just that most people would choose to consider comprehending by analogy after entering the law manifestation realm. However, Yishiwen went hand in hand all the way, so when he cultivated in the law manifestation realm, it would be much easier than the average person. This was because others might stop to comprehend other parts, but he had already comprehended them. Yishiwen, who could go hand in hand, also had an advantage among his peers. This was the fundamental reason why he could challenge those who were at a higher level. No matter how strong the opponent was, they had their own shortcomings, and most of these shortcomings were not as good as Yishiwen. "Take my punch!" Yishiwen clenched his 5 fingers into a fist. Countless stars were entwined on it, and instantly turned into a star. In an instant, the endless air collapsed in an instant, and then he suddenly blasted his fist out. Boom! Wherever the star passed, there was a terrifying rumbling sound of impact. The space was instantly locked, and there was a faint feeling that made Si Konghao feel that there was no way to escape. At this time, he truly tasted what it meant to oppress people with one's power. Previously, he had relied on his higher realm to oppress people with his strength. However, at this time, he truly understood what it meant to oppress people with one's power. This was a higher level of understanding than using one's strength to oppress people. Although it did not seem very fast, the overwhelming feeling made him feel so suffocated that he wanted to vomit blood. It was as if he was facing the punishment of the heavens. No matter where he escaped, it was useless. That feeling of powerlessness was like the feeling of a mantis trying to stop a chariot. Originally, in his opinion, this aura could be used to deal with people who were weaker than him. It could be used to oppress people who were much weaker than him into surrendering without a fight. However, it was rare to see someone like Yi Shiwen who dared to oppress people who were higher than him with force. Unfortunately, he was suppressed by Yi Shiwen's aura. In the eyes of many people in the grandstand, this situation was extremely strange. Yi Shiwen's fist was getting closer and closer, but Si Konghao seemed to be under the effect of the body-fixing technique, and couldn't even move. At this time, in addition to Si Konghao in the field, only the law manifestation realm experts in the depths of the cloud platform saw some clues. Suddenly, many experts looked at each other, showing a somewhat horrified expression. They were very clear that the aura was actually the initial form of the territory. Wasn't the kind of aura that suppressed the opponent to the point of being unable to move the initial form of the territory? Having said that, even if many people condensed their own territory, it was impossible to exert the aura to such an extent. This young man is not simple. Damn, how can there be such a talented person among humans? We can't let him live. We must eliminate him as soon as possible. No wonder Gui Yuan sect almost fell out with the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan for him. He really has his value. The expressions on the faces of the law manifestation realm experts remained unchanged, but there were all kinds of thoughts in their minds. No, I can't go on like this. Si Konghao screamed in his heart. He immediately bit the tip of his tongue, and an intense pain swept through his entire body. The blood in his body was burning, and he suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood onto the black jade folding fan. Roar! An angry beast roar swept out from the folding fan. A terrifying vicious beast aura overflowed from the folding fan, followed by a huge beast claw grabbing out from it. It was like a giant claw that could destroy the sky, instantly grabbing Yi Shiwen's fist. Boom! In the sky, everyone only heard a loud bang. The huge beast claw and Yi Shiwen's fist exploded on the spot. The terrifying explosion aftermath turned into layers of air waves that swept out. The entire arena had been destroyed beyond recognition, and even the space that isolated the arena was on the verge of collapse. In the past, this would have been impossible, but it was only in this year's competition that such a situation would occur. In the past sessions, if there was a Transcendent Realm 9th level expert, then the champion was almost decided. It was impossible for others to compete with the Transcendent Realm 9th level expert. But only in this session, countless experts emerged. The Transcendent Realm 9th level experts who could dominate in the past were fighting with great difficulty. Chapter 1009. That was because he discovered that his punch had actually failed to annihilate the entire beast. This was already somewhat beyond his expectations. Although this beast was composed of wind attribute elements, in terms of toughness, it was far stronger than gold and iron. An ordinary person would not be able to damage it at all. Looking at Si Konghao's pale face, Yi Shiwen immediately understood that this should be Si Konghao's hidden trump card. Yi Shiwen, you are really strong. Very, very strong. Compared to when you were in the sealed land, you can't be mentioned in the same breath. Si Konghao stood up and said a little reluctantly, "But this time, I will definitely win." As he said, the huge vicious beast's left front claw recovered little by little as if it had never been injured. Due to the fact that he was not a physical entity, this degree of injury was actually insignificant. Yi Shiwen glanced at Si Konghao's slightly pale face and frowned slightly. He could not kill this beast. It was the most difficult to deal with. Swish! Suddenly, that ominous beast moved. Its 4 claws collapsed the air in the sky, and it instantly rushed over. In an instant, it had already arrived in front of Yi Shiwen. That terrifying appearance was enough to suffocate a person. This claw was unleashed, Great Storm Handprint. It turned into a huge handprint and pressed down. Yi Shiwen's face changed. He did not expect this vicious beast to know martial arts. It was much more difficult to deal with than the ancient desolate giant crocodile incarnation. When Crown Prince Crocodile incarnated into the ancient desolate giant crocodile, although his strength had improved a lot, his mind was not clear. Hence, the improvement in strength was not as terrifying as it seemed on the surface. However, this vicious beast was different. It could even use martial arts. This set of great storm handprints simply gathered the countless surrounding storms and released them together. It was terrifying, even the sky could be penetrated. Although Yi Shiwen dodged this claw, this vicious beast obviously had no intention of letting Yi Shiwen go. It directly clawed at Yi Shiwen again. The huge beast's claw unleashed the great storm handprint and slammed down again. Boom! 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 The vicious beast's giant claws slammed down continuously. Each time, the entire horizon could be seen collapsing in a manner visible to the naked eye. Yi Shiwen just kept dodging and didn't fight back. One man and one ominous beast were extremely fast. Yi Shiwen continuously stepped on the ground and his figure suddenly moved horizontally at a very fast speed. Every time, he was able to avoid the claws of this ominous beast by a hair's breadth. Yi Shiwen's speed was extremely fast. His figure was moving horizontally at an extremely fast speed. However, that ominous beast looked like a small hill, but in fact, it was composed of wind elements. Its body was very light, but very sturdy. Similarly, its speed was also extremely fast. What could be faster than the wind? A man and a ferocious beast quickly flew in that arena. Although this arena was not small, it was almost no different from a small box for experts of this level. They could casually fly with such a huge force, let alone chase each other in this arena. However, when the two sides chased each other in the arena, the small arena was reflected almost immediately. No way! Is Yi Shiwen going to lose? He is completely at a disadvantage. He can only be chased continuously. He has no power to fight back at all. Suddenly, many people exclaimed. Initially, everyone was more optimistic about Yi Shiwen. From the beginning of the battle, Yi Shiwen always had the upper hand. But now, they found that it was not the case at all. Suddenly, many people exclaimed. Initially, everyone was more optimistic about Yi Shiwen. From the beginning of the battle, Yi Shiwen always had the upper hand. But now, they found out that it was not the case at all. Yi Shiwen could only keep dodging. Although everyone also felt the monstrous ferocity from the vicious beast, the ferocity of Yi Shiwen's slaughtering Crown Prince Crocodile was deeply rooted in their minds. In other words, it should be said that Crown Prince Crocodile's prestige for hundreds of years had fallen into everyone's heart. Yi Shiwen, who killed Crown Prince Crocodile, naturally inherited this ferocity. Therefore, it was not so much that it was unbelievable that Yi Shiwen would be at a disadvantage. It was more unbelievable that an expert who could slaughter Crown Prince Crocodile would be at a disadvantage in the battle with Si Konghao. I didn't expect Si Konghao to have such a trump card. If Yi Shiwen is not careful, he may really suffer a big loss in his hands. Unfortunately, in the face of this move, Yi Shiwen seems to have no power to fight back. He deserves to be in the top 10 of the previous tournament. With this foundation and this strength, if he didn't encounter these monstrous geniuses, he will definitely be the champion now. There was a lot of discussion, but this time, it turned to Si Konghao. But not everyone could see the clues. Stupid! Crocodile Shadow, who had just finished the match, looked coldly at Yi Shiwen and Si Konghao who were fighting below. What's wrong? Isn't it good for Yi Shiwen to suffer a loss? We have suffered a lot from this kid. We should be happy to see him suffer a loss. A vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan expert next to him said with some doubts. In his heart, the right and wrong had always been very simple. Yishuan suffered a loss, so he should be happy. Crocodile Shadow didn't seem to be very happy. You only saw Yishuan constantly retreating under the vicious beast's attack, but didn't you see Yishuan's face was not red, and he was not out of breath? Even his footsteps were not messed up. The vicious beast has tried its best, but Yishuan is still at ease. Can't you even see such a simple thing? Crocodile Shadow shook his head and said disappointedly. Now, the vanishing shadow poisonous crocodile clan really had no talents. No wonder they quickly pushed him out after Crown Prince Crocodile's death. It was not only because of the top 100 list, but also because there was no successor. Yihong Ying and others, who had some potential, died in Yishuan's hands one after another. They had no choice but to let him out. Hence, Crocodile Shadow was right to thank Yishuan's momentum. It was indeed the case. Compared to these people who were taking pleasure in Yishuan's misfortune, he could see further. He could also see that Yishuan hadn't used his full strength yet. In other words, he hadn't been forced to use his full strength. This ominous beast looked majestic, but if it couldn't catch Yishuan, then everything would be in vain. It could be said that Si Konghao's biggest trump card should be flawless. Whether it was strength or speed, this gasified vicious beast could be said to have reached the pinnacle. Unfortunately, it encountered a freak like Yishuan. Yishuan's speed was faster. Ordinary people could not catch up with his speed. Not even this ferocious beast condensed from the wind element. It's impossible. How can he be so fast? The poisonous young master said in amazement. He had just defeated his competitor. It was not appropriate to use the word resolved to describe it. It should be said that the other party directly surrendered. Facing the poisonous young master, they might be poisoned to death if they were not careful. How would they dare to continue fighting with the poisonous young master? He was also concerned about Yishuan's battle. Hence, he returned to the spectator stand after finishing the battle in a hurry. If it were an ordinary battle, he wouldn't even have the mood to watch it. He knew that those people could not even force out 1/10 of Yishuan's combat power. But now it was different. His opponent was Si Konghao, and this opponent was also the type of opponent that gave him a headache. As one of the top 10 in the last tournament, he wouldn't underestimate Si Konghao. Moreover, apart from his mortal enemy, Yishuan, Si Konghao's ability was the most powerful restraint on him. The poisonous young master couldn't get close to Si Konghao's body. Therefore, his plan to kill Si Konghao with poison would become a joke. Therefore, although Si Konghao's strength was inferior to him, the poisonous young master was actually more afraid of Si Konghao than everyone else. Because of this, in his opinion, this battle must be a fierce one. Everything was just as he thought. Yishuan also showed a stronger combat power in this battle. However, when he saw that Yishuan was always skillfully dodging his attacks, he suddenly felt extremely depressed and horrified. However, he was also somewhat rejoicing in his heart. Fortunately, he wasn't the first one to fight with Yishuan. Otherwise, even Si Konghao, who specialized in wind element cultivation, wouldn't be able to catch Yishuan, let alone him. It's still early. Let's wait and see. A few of the younger generation experts who had finished their battles earlier made similar judgments at this time. And at this time, there was finally an earth-shaking change on the battlefield. Yishuan, who seemed to be constantly dodging, finally stopped. I have seen through your great storm handprint. Let's stop here. Yishuan roared and instantly pounced forward. He suddenly blasted out his fist to grab the great storm handprint. Boom! Yishuan's fist was like a needle piercing into the ominous beast, blooming with golden divine light, instantly illuminating the entire sky. Yishuan's fist suddenly blasted into the ominous beast's claw, which was as hard as iron, and suddenly blasted through it. Bang! The entire beast suddenly exploded like a balloon, and a huge airflow immediately swept out in a mighty manner. At this time, Yi Shiwen's figure had once again rushed in front of Si Konghao, and the vast pressure of his fist instantly crushed down. I admit defeat! At this time, Si Konghao suddenly opened his mouth and said. There was a somewhat helpless smile on his pale face. He looked at Yi Shiwen and said word by word. Chapter 10:10. I admit defeat! Si Konghao said with a bitter smile, looking at Yi Shiwen helplessly. There was nothing he could do. He had tried his best, but he still couldn't defeat Yi Shiwen. Yi Shiwen was like a bottomless pit. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't defeat Yi Shiwen. Even though he had finally used his trump card to compete for the championship, he still wasn't Yi Shiwen's opponent. Yi Shiwen saw through his weakness and defeated him completely. Although it seemed that Yi Shiwen easily defeated the gasified beast, only he knew that it was impossible for ordinary people to do it. Even if he encountered Crown Prince Crocodile, he was confident that he could fight him. It was a pity that he encountered a freak like Yi Shiwen. If it were anyone else, they would not be at such a complete disadvantage. In other people's eyes he had the upper hand, but only he knew that he had been led by the nose by Yi Shiwen from the beginning to the end. He had never had the upper hand. He had been in a complete disadvantage from the beginning to the end. But this time, I also have some insights. If I can enter the law manifestation realm in the future, it must be Brother Ye's credit, Si Konghao said with a cupped fist. Yi Shiwen's use of momentum had reached an extremely brilliant level, allowing him to have a new domain. He also had a little more experience in condensing his own domain. Although the two ended peacefully, Yi Shiwen's defeat of Si Konghao this time caused a huge reaction again. Both of them were the best of the younger generation in the eyes of everyone. Both of them had extraordinary achievements in the past. Yi Shiwen slaughtered Crown Prince Crocodile, and Si Konghao showed the Transcendent Realm 9th level strength, far beyond everyone's imagination. It could be said that it was normal for any one of them to win, but it was also because of this that anyone who won would cause everyone to gasp in surprise. In everyone's eyes, perhaps a lose-lose situation was the most acceptable outcome for everyone. What's more, Yi Shiwen had defeated Si Konghao so easily. One must know that Si Konghao was one of the top 10 rankers last year. This year, he was at least one of the top 20 rankers, but Yi Shiwen had actually defeated him. After all, Yi Shiwen wasn't a young hero who had been famous for a long time. It would have been normal if he had been replaced by someone like Pei Xingqian. However, everyone could see that Yi Shiwen's achievements weren't due to luck. He had achieved them by relying on his own strength. Even defeating Si Konghao didn't require him to use his full strength. He had defeated Si Konghao's trump card with just an ordinary move. At most, he had just shown off his skills and attacked the weakness of the beast. Just how many trump cards did this ordinary-looking youth have? How far could he go? However, it didn't matter whether they were optimistic or not. The 9th round had ended very quickly. All the major experts had gone all out in order to enter the 9th round. However, the competition didn't last long. Yi Shiwen's match was considered a long one. The so-called top 10 that everyone was optimistic about had ended their battles quickly before encountering each other in the 9th round. They even encountered a Transcendent Realm 9th level expert. However, the opponent was a warrior who had just entered the Transcendent Realm 9th level. He was far from comparable to Si Konghao. Hence, with Si Konghao's outstanding performance, it didn't cause too much of a commotion. Compared to the 9th round, the 10th round was the real test. Only those who passed could enter the top 10. Among the remaining people, except for lucky ones like Yao Qian, almost all of them were top-notch experts. Among the remaining 15 people, there was bound to be a bye. This person was actually Yi Shiwen's turn. This arrangement was unexpected, and no one had any objections. Whether they liked or disliked Yi Shiwen, no one doubted Yi Shiwen's strength. Even if he relied on his true ability, he could easily enter the top 10. Among the remaining 14 people, only 7 would advance to the top 10. Then, among the remaining 7 people, the 2 winners would be decided along with the previous 8 people as candidates for the top 10. The rankings between them would have to be determined one by one. It was rare for Yishiwen to have a bye. He could laugh at the situation when these people fought. These were the best among the young advanced mathematics experts in the flourished Cloud Sea region. Each of them was a top expert. Any one of them was very difficult to deal with. It was undoubtedly a rare opportunity for Yishiwen to watch their battle in advance. Moreover, it was a battle of similar levels. Most importantly, only 7 people could advance in the end. In other words, among the opponents that Yishiwen was very concerned about, at least 4 of them would have to fight. It was very rare to see such a top-level battle. In the 10th round, apart from Yishiwen being the first to advance without a bye, Yao Qian was the fastest to finish her battle. Her opponent was none other than the previous champion, young Master Sea Dragon. Yao Qian was already very satisfied to be able to advance from the original top 50 to the top 20. Although there was a bit of luck involved, what else could she be dissatisfied with? If the gap was a little smaller, it would be considered a friendly match. However, she knew very well that the gap between her and young Master Sea Dragon had reached a certain level. It was impossible for young Master Sea Dragon to use his full strength. It was useless even if he fought with her. Now, among Yishiwen's group of 3, the only one still on the field was Bai Hanmo. Bai Hanmo's opponent was none other than the poisonous young master. "You are with that Yishiwen, I know you," said the poisonous young master slowly. His eyes flashed with green poison gas, looking a bit evil. "Who are you?" "I don't know you," said Bai Hanmo lazily with a "who are you" look. The muscles on the poisonous young master's face twitched. He looked at Bai Hanmo with the same murderous intent. Not only for Yishiwen, but also for the people around him. This kid was as annoying as Yishiwen. "It doesn't matter. You will know who I am later," said the poisonous young master coldly. His figure suddenly turned into a poisonous mist and disappeared. In the next second, he appeared in front of Bai Hanmo. Although his speed was not as exaggerated as Yishiwen's, it was impossible for a warrior who cultivated to this level to have an obvious shortcoming. Even if there was a shortcoming, it depended on who he was compared with. In terms of strength, the Transcendent Realm 9th level peak poisonous young master was absolutely not inferior. At this time, he completely broke out. In an instant, he rushed in front of Bai Hanmo and directly launched a huge chi-condensed hand. The chi-condensed hand was stained with green poison. It directly burned through the air. It was abnormally terrifying. It seemed that Bai Hanmo was already prepared for the poisonous young master's strength. He had forgotten Yishiwen's previous instruction to admit defeat first if he encountered those people. Yishiwen could even see the excited expression on his face. Clang! Bai Hanmo made a move in an instant. The white jade long sword in his hand suddenly stabbed straight at Bai Hanmo in an instant. The white jade-like light instantly illuminated half of the sky. It turned into a waterfall and directly cut through the vast sky. Boom! The long sword and the huge hand suddenly collided fiercely in the sky. The green poisonous light and the white sword light exploded in the air. For a time, the entire sky was filled with this kind of venom. Unlike what everyone thought, there was no scene of Bai Hanmo being blasted away by the poisonous young master. The two of them were actually evenly matched in this exchange of blows. An endless amount of green venom flowed into the air. Hee, it seems that you are just SOSO. Bai Hanmo looked at the poisonous young master with a sneer and said with a smile, TSK, you can't even beat me with your strength, let alone brother Yi. The poisonous young master's face was abnormally ugly. He didn't expect the Transcendent Realm 8th level brat in front of him to be so difficult to deal with. Yishiwen's strength far surpassed the average Transcendent Realm 8th level peak. Yishiwen's strength was not inferior to the poisonous young master. But even so, he, a Transcendent Realm 9th level peak, couldn't suppress the Transcendent Realm 8th level peak. It was imaginable how the people outside evaluated him. He only felt that the eyes in the sky had turned into mocking gazes, as if everyone was laughing at him. You are courting death! He roared suddenly. His figure suddenly pounced forward. Countless poisonous gas condensed in his hand, turning into a huge poisonous gas bomb. He suddenly threw it out. Swish! This poisonous gas bomb instantly tore the vast sky. It seemed to corrode a big hole in the air and directly bombarded in front of Bai Hanmo. Everyone held their breath and looked at Bai Hanmo at once. The most terrifying thing about the poisonous young master was his poison technique. Compared to this, the others were nothing to worry about. But it was precisely because of this that it showed his horrifying poison technique. No one dared to underestimate his poison technique. This was also the biggest problem for other young geniuses when facing the poisonous young master. Who knew that Bai Hanmo didn't care at all? He directly slashed with a sword. A shocking sword light suddenly smashed the entire poisonous gas bomb. Boom! The poisonous gas bomb exploded on the spot. The poisonous gas contained in it instantly turned into a giant claw that grabbed Bai Hanmo. It suddenly grabbed Bai Hanmo's body with lightning speed. A white jade-like luster appeared on Bai Hanmo's body. The poisonous gas corroded desperately, but there was no way to corrode Bai Hanmo's body. The layer of white jade-like luster made him look like a jade man. Bai Hanmo directly turned around and slashed the poisonous gas claw on the spot. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.